Good morning, everyone.
Welcome in. Welcome in. A lot of behind the scenes discussion that took us a minute to get the live stream going.
You're connected, right?
Yeah. Yep. Frank Marks talking. I'm on number 6.
Yeah.
We didn't hear if I never heard if they got everything fixed.
Yeah, I had no idea either, actually. We'll find out.
Yeah.
All right, you're up.
Oh, for a lot of people, it's kind of like a Christmas morning. The Masters gets going down in Augusta. South Carolina football spoke yesterday. Justin Stepp, Torian Gray will get into some of that. And the weekend is not far away. Welcome in on a Thursday morning, however you choose to listen this morning, whether you're listening via radio, whether you're listening via the internet stream, whether you're joining us on our YouTube channel. Welcome in Bill Gunner, Patrick Perrette here to carry you through the first 3 hours this morning and get you fired up.
Do we just want this to play all morning long?
Just goes right in the background. It's perfect.
It is actually the perfect music to play in the background while we talk.
It is just soothing, relaxing. Maybe not for 6:06 when you're trying to get up and get fired up.
Put everybody back to sleep while they're driving to work.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe that's not what you play right away when you're getting fired up and you're getting up, you're having your cup of coffee. Maybe you need
Where does that song come from? Is it called The Masters Music, or is it an actual song that was written and they adopted it? Was it written by a member of Augusta or someone at the club for the Masters?
That's a good question. It's a good way. It's a good way to start the program. Let's see if we can. Apparently, it does have lyrics. Apparently, it does have
lyrics.
Yeah, we've got it right here. This is from the Golf News Net is where I'm picking this up. It's an article from March 29th of 2017. Let's see here. However, there's more to the Masters theme song than just the piano. The song has a name, a writer, and lyrics. Songwriter Dave Loggins wrote the tune simply called Augusta in 1981 after visiting Augusta National, the home of the Masters, for the April tournament. Loggins says the lyrics came to him on the par 4 14th hole. It was later in a meeting with CBS Sports golf producer Frank Cherkinian, I believe is how you say that. Loggins was able to get his interest in a potential Masters theme song, and the song debuted during the 1982 Masters and has been part of the telecast ever since.
It's a lot newer than I thought.
Apparently, and I've never heard the lyrics. I don't know if anybody's even aware that the song had lyrics. But it says, however, the song has been changed by Loggins over the years to include lines about Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson.
What?
Did not know that. So how about that? Welcome in. Oh, okay. Now I see I've got the lyrics right in front of me here. Well, it's springtime in the valley on Magnolia Lane. It's the Augusta National and the master of the game. That's how it starts. How you like that? Welcome in. We're being, yeah. Oh, wait, you want me to sing with it? Or it probably.
Yeah, sing it for us.
I don't know where it picks up. Maybe.
I don't know the rhythm, anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
People are very confused on the live stream right now.
Maybe somewhere.
So can't play this.
Yeah. Maybe somewhere here. Well, it's springtime in the valley on Magnolia Lane. It's the Augusta National and the master of the game. Who will wear the green coat on Sunday afternoon? Who will walk the 18th fairway singing this tune? Oh, Augusta, your dogwoods and pines, they play on my mind like a song. Oh, Augusta, it's you that I love. It's you that I miss when I'm gone. Well, it's Watson and Byron Nelson and Demerit and Player and Snead and it's Amen Corner. It's Hogan's perfect swing. It's Sarazen's double eagle and the 15th in 35 and the spirit of Clifford Roberts that keeps it alive. Oh, Augusta, your dogwoods and pines, they play on my mind Like a song, go Augusta. It's you that I love. It's you that I miss when I'm gone. It's the legends of Arnie's Army and Golden Bear's Throne, the wooden shafted legend of Bobby Jones. Apparently that's it. Just gave you the whole song. It was beautiful. I think my 6'10" gravelly voice probably adds to it a little bit, but there you go. There's the Augusta theme song. I don't think we broke any rules by me singing it, by playing it over air.
You think everyone's waking up to that this morning? Do you think all the golfers wake up to the Masters theme music on?
No, I don't.
Thursday?
What would be? That would be golf is a. Would you have a walk up song? You know, they don't have, like in baseball, you've got a walk up song. In golf, you get introduced. They'll say today from Jupiter, Florida, defending Masters champion Dustin Johnson. That's how they'll do it. Would you have a walk up song in golf to get you a little fired up, or is it a sport where your emotions have got to be so even keel that maybe you go something that's a little more subtle than say Eye of the Tiger? We did this your pump up. We did your pump up song on Monday. Now I'll admit, Patrick, I've gotten in. We talked about this yesterday. I've gone older. I'm getting older. I'm okay with this. When I go to play golf now, the speaker's in the cart. Play a little yacht rock, maybe a little.
Is that new? You didn't used to do that?
It's probably within the last 3 or 4 years that I've gotten into the speaker in the cart idea that I bought in.
Is that something that, like, you have to agree upon that with your group, and sometimes there's somebody in the group that's not cool with the music?
I think you know your group. I
couldn't imagine playing a whole round of golf and not listen to any music.
Yeah, I think you're aware of your group setting and who you're playing with. If I'm playing with my father, I realize there will be no music that day, or maybe not relatively close to his cart. If there's another group of people I'm playing with, I realize that there will be music and it will be heard pretty much up and down the fairway, not just by my group, but by any group that comes within a whole of us. So I think I think you're aware of your group surroundings.
It shouldn't be a distraction unless you start. Like, the only thing that's distracting is if it's as you're on your backswing, somebody yells something or starts playing music, right? If you walk up to the tee or to your ball and the music has just been playing steadily and it's the same volume,
yeah,
nothing to worry about, right?
Just background noise, more or less, something like birds or any construction work that might be around as you're playing. I'm with you. It's now gotten to the point.
That would be one of the rules I would change in sports. I have the fumbling out of the back of the end zone in football. I would get rid of the base coaches in baseball, and I would allow all sorts of distractions to be fair game in golf. Those would be the main ones.
Yeah,
and a 4-point shot in basketball.
Yeah, I think, okay. All right, rock and jock basketball, got it. Yep. I think the distractions in golf, though, it's so your swing can change. There can be such subtle movement.
We got to be mentally strong.
It's tough, man. That's
like shooting a free throw.
I will say this. I grew up playing. I had a nephew that I would take. I had an uncle that owned or ran some golf courses down in Myrtle Beach. And I would go down there, and in the afternoon, I'd kind of babysit my nephew, and I'd take him out. He was younger and would run around, was kind of wild, and he made a lot of noise. So I kind of learned to play through that. And then I had a stepbrother who I would end up taking care of later and take him to play golf. I think one time he colored on a golf cart somewhere. But I learned to play through noise. So I'm kind of like you. Like, there was the distractions were there. There was a time in my life where I was a good golfer. I wasn't going to college or doing anything like that with golf, but I was a better golfer than I am today. But yeah, I can play through noise. I can play with a little music. Now, I think your selection of music is key. I don't think you're out there. I don't think you're out there with AC/DC or
unless you're. Well, that's what I was going to say. DeChambeau, I bet you, was coming up to Metallica or something like that.
That's possible. Yeah,
get himself, because it's crazy to see him have to psych himself up before he hits some of these drives. When he actually goes through a full process.
Yeah, he puffs himself up, kind of gets fired up. So yeah, it's interesting for sure. And yeah, the music in golf is and again, Augusta National's entirely different. Because Patrick, you say that about distraction, and I was talking to somebody, had a good buddy of mine go down to the Masters yesterday and hang out and check everything out and came back. They were talking about the greens last night. We were all hanging out. You go to the Masters, and it is how can I phrase it? it's like they're allowing you on their grounds, basically, which sounds kind of stupid, but it's like you should feel honored
Lucky to be there.
I'm trying to think of how to word that properly, but to go to the Masters, it's like you're lucky that you got allowed on such hallowed grounds. Then you go to the RBC Heritage, and it's a party. Like people are hitting, and you're basically golfers are being offered drinks by people on the fairway at their homes, whatever. I mean, it's an absolute. You couldn't. I don't know this for a fact. I'm just going to guess that given that it goes from Augusta to Hilton Head, I don't know for golfers that get to play both, if there's a more 180 change in not just scenery, but change in like dynamics of the way a tournament is handled going from Augusta, where again, like if you sneeze at Augusta, you feel like they're going to escort you out, especially in someone's backswing. Whereas at the Heritage, you've got people who are like taking dollar bills and gambling during somebody's backswing if he's going to make, and talking openly about it, whether he's closest to the pin or if he's going to get it on the green. Like it is such a different atmosphere, and I love the Heritage. The Heritage Augusta is great. I've been there plenty of times. The Heritage is really cool. It is two entirely different experiences for people that I'm sure are listening and have been. They know exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm still shocked because I just found out this week that you can't even have a cell phone on the premises at Augusta. Like that, it all just sounds like something that is much better to watch on TV. I'm sure being in the area, like I guess there are people that go every single year. That sounds like something I want to do exactly one time and then say, yeah, I've been to Augusta and never do it again.
I think whether you like golf or not, it needs to be a bucket list item. I'm not a huge tennis fan. I'll occasionally check it out. Going to Wimbledon is not at the top of my list, but at the same time, if somebody said, "Hey, I got tickets, you got to get yourself over there. You got to pay for the flight, but I'm going to give you this ticket," I'd be like, "Oh, okay, I'll go. I'm going to go and check out Wimbledon." I would say the same thing for a big soccer match in Europe.
No, but I when you say Wimbledon, I think Wimbledon's the only thing that comes close. When you say you feel like you should be lucky to be there and the event is just something totally different, I think the Masters and Wimbledon are the only things like that. Like Wimbledon, obviously everyone's got to wear the all white and it's just a totally different experience. Like winning Wimbledon is similar to winning the Masters in that you'd probably rather win that than all three other majors.
Yeah, it is different. It's entirely different. And again, I would say if you talk about sports bucket list items, we've got one coming up here in about 4 weeks that is very, very high up on my list, and that would be the Kentucky Derby. I will say I want to do the Kentucky Derby right. I want to get dressed up. I want it to be a big deal.
I want it as a party too.
Yeah, there's a theme there with me on this kind of stuff. And that would be one of them. The Kentucky Derby is an event coming up here that I definitely, at some point, it always falls on my birthday weekend. And it's a little tough with the kids and everything right now. And I don't know if they're necessarily ready to go handle a Kentucky Derby. I don't think they need to take the 11 and 8-year-old out to the Kentucky Derby. But the bottom line is that's an event that I also would get very excited and I'd have the Kentucky Derby ahead of going to Wimbledon. I'd love to go up there and check out the horses and see how everything goes. So if you want to weigh in this morning on your bucket list sport events, maybe that's not just going to a baseball or football or basketball game, 803-404-6100 is how you can do so this morning. You can join us, Cool Care Heating and Air text line. You can hit us up on the Love Chevy phone lines. We will talk some South Carolina football. Justin Stepp, Torian Gray speaking. We got some audio from them yesterday. Get into a little bit about the wide receiver room and your expectations for that for South Carolina football spring game. Is just over 2 weeks away. 9,000 fans will be in the stands there for Shane Beamer's first spring game, a chance to see what Marcus Satterfield's offense looks like. Justin Stepp praising him yesterday, comparing him to Joe Brady and some of the things that he saw from LSU's offense when Brady was there. Not talent-wise, but just some concepts and the way that Brady did things, which makes sense given that Satterfield and Brady worked together. So we'll get into that, maybe get Patrick to dissect a little bit of what he saw from Joe Brady's offense, just schemes and concepts that were run back in 2019. Patrick, is that right? 2019 is when LSU was rolling over everybody. So we'll get into that and again listen to them a little bit. Talk a little basketball. Sean Miller. That was kind of the national news of yesterday. The now former Arizona coach, a guy who was heavily involved in some of the wiretaps and I would say the shoe scandal from a few years ago, fired at Arizona after 12 seasons. You know, it was getting to the point that it did look like in college basketball, you could basically, after you see Bill Self over the weekend get a lifetime contract, you see Will Wade still coaching, you saw Sean Miller still out there. It did kind of get to the point I was really starting to believe, hey, you can really pretty much do whatever you want in college basketball as a head coach and get away with it. You're going to be perfectly fine. So we'll get into a little bit of that from a standpoint of college basketball and where that's going. We'll talk a little bit of football. Masters, again, getting going this morning. First tee time, 8 a.m. We'll get you those two guys. I forget, Patrick. I've already forgot the two guys that are going off first. But
I think the one guy's name was Hudson Swafford.
Okay. Yep. There you go.
I just remember it being super Southern, like the most Southern name. You just type it into a Southern name generator. It's going to be Hudson Swafford.
It sounds like a name that would. It sounds like a name that would tee off first.
If he's not from the Southeast, I'm going to be shocked. I'm googling him right now.
Okay, so we've got that. We've got that going on this morning. Again, a lot of Masters discussion. If you want to weigh in, 803-404-6100 is how you can do so. Joining us again, Cool Care Heating and Air text line, Love Chevy phone lines, and again the live stream. We always promote it. We love it. We're a fan. And Craig and DC are up with us early this morning. Good morning to DC. Good morning to Craig. Craig does say, how in the world does Will Wade still have a job? Yeah, that's, again, it was getting to the point with college basketball, and we're still kind of at that point where it did look like you could pretty much do whatever you want and keep your job. So we'll get through that, talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little bit of South Carolina football, the wide receivers when we come back. Justin Stepp speaking to the media yesterday, talking about being back home, living in a one-bedroom apartment with a newborn and a 3-year-old and his wife when he first moved back. That sounds like a good time. We'll listen to what Coach Stepp had to say, talk a little football here on a April 8th, Thursday morning. Hope you're up and doing well, getting excited. Masters officially underway in about an hour and 38 minutes. So get fired up, rub your hands together, clap a little bit, take a sip of coffee, and join us. Why don't you? You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Crider.
That's right. Getting fired up, setting up the house for Masters Week here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, the key is to have a good set. We've talked about that. Man cave. Maybe that's something you want in a new home, a really cool man cave. Maybe you've been out looking around, looking on Zillow, driving up and down streets, looking at homes, and you found the perfect home. You've got the man cave picked out. You've already decided how you're going to decorate it. You just need to get the financing for the new home. Now's the time to do it. Get in touch with a mortgage guru. Jacob Crowder, First Palmetto Bank is the way to do that. Give him a phone call today, 803-719-1005. Jacob and Brian Kovar helping people save $200, $300, $400 a month. So you can get in touch with them. Right now, interest rates are low. Brian is telling everybody he's a fan of the movie Hoosiers, and his slogan, he's just running around town saying it, don't get caught watching the paint dry. That means you need to jump on a great opportunity, make the purchase today, but do it with great interest rates, and start by getting in touch with the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank, 803-719-1005. You can email him, the letter J, Crowder, CROWDER at firstpalmetto.com is the way to do that. Again, that phone number, 803-719-1005. He's the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank.
And from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center, Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality, shepherdsglass.com. No accidents at the moment, just a disabled vehicle in West Columbia. Going to have the shoulder blocked on I-77 northbound between
How's everybody doing this morning? Quiet morning. Everybody's asleep. Partied last night too much, I think. Everybody's all fired up. Not
All right. I did not hear the update play, so
okay.
don't worry about it in the 46 break.
What time is it? 12 hours ago? Oh, how did I miss this yesterday? South Carolina got a commitment in basketball. A.J. Wilson, the transfer from George Mason. All right, we'll get into that. That's something else to talk.
Oh.
6'6" small forward.
Why is the only text we've gotten so far about the Wrangler National Rodeo Finals in Vegas?
I don't know. Are we on air?
You mean he responded? Yeah.
I think this person's saying that that's where they would want to go on the bucket list.
Yeah.
The weird.
That is what he's saying.
Yeah,
so we are on
bucket list item. So that means we are on air. And then that's a perfect description of where the show is at right now. There's your first two text messages. The other one says Hudson Swafford is a northern name.
Yeah, that's a crazy take. Hudson is the most southern name I can think of.
Did you see where he's from?
Yeah, he's from Florida.
Lakeland. And did you see where he went to college?
Nah.
Georgia.
Yeah, of course. Come on.
All right, we'll readdress that. I tell you what, we'll do this segment and then we'll get into we'll try and save the football stuff for 7 o'clock because I think we can hit these two things. I just saw somebody pop up on the live stream there, John. Yeah, hey, good morning, John. So I saw yesterday where someone on Twitter said no smoke with those, but every time we got a new plan, what?
I don't know.
Do the team? No, John. I mean, I got him. I need to look up some AJ Wilson stuff real quick here, but get some numbers on him. I'd heard they had a good chance to get him. I guess I just didn't. I was on Twitter looking at stuff last night. Apparently, I just completely whiffed on that one. Just absolutely whiffed. Oh, Maryland extended Mark Turgeon?
Yeah, Maryland's going to be a preseason top 10 team in the country next year. Goodman and I think Ralston or somebody both had him in the top 5. Depends if Aaron Wiggins comes back, but
does anybody else have is anybody else on the live stream? I don't know how many people we got on the live stream right now. It looks quiet, but they use paper towels for coffee filters sometimes in the morning because I have no coffee filters and I'm going with the paper towel method.
Coffee filters come in packs of like thousands. I have so
many. I gotta
filters.
go buy some.
I don't think I'll ever buy coffee filters again because I have 3 packs. Yeah,
you feel like that. That's the thing is all of a sudden they're gone and then you forget to go to the store. It's not a so then you start using. Then I've had to use we had to use paper towels. I'm sure other people have done that. All right, let's see, George. Well, now I'm confused on what league George Mason is in. I thought George Mason was in the Colonial. Huh. What league is George Mason in? We're not back, are we? Yeah, paper towels. I'm not a Keurig guy. Good morning, Chris. Uh-oh, John has been up since 2:40. Good grief, buddy. Yeah, I'm not a Keurig. I got a Keurig in my other office. I'm not a huge Keurig guy.
Well, I have the double, so it has a pot on one side and a single cup on
Oh,
the
really?
other.
Now that's the way to go. Yeah, there you go.
It's nice. And then I do the reusable K cup, so I'll just grind beans and I just have a little one that I dump out every time.
Okay. Yep, we got a grinder. Boy, this conference that George Mason is in is really confusing me this morning. I feel like I'm better than this.
What is confusing you? The A10?
Huh?
The A10?
Are they in the A10?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I skipped right past that conference. Wow, how about that? I didn't think they were in the A10. Let's see what this kid did here. A.J. Wilson, 22 minutes, 8 points, 5 rebounds.
We are coming back in 10 seconds.
6'7", 230. Yeah, just half on and trying to listen. Oh. All right, we're ready. Oh, Justin Timberlake. That'd be good. I could get into a little bringing sexy back, walking up to the tee box, getting ready to hit your tee shot, first shot at Augusta. I think the Green Jacket folk would frown upon that if that was your walk-up song, though, Patrick. I feel like that would definitely be frowned upon.
I mean, I don't know why. Make golf fun. Make golf fun for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. Make it fun. That's a whole new, again, rules changes is what we got into. We did talk about, this is an interesting text, and it took Patrick, it's from an anonymous texter, and it took Patrick a few minutes during the break to figure out, because it was the first text we got all morning. People are not waking up quickly this morning, I think, or just not. After I sang to everybody, there has no interest in being a part of the show, which is fine. We get a text in from an anonymous texter says, Wrangler National Rodeo Finals in Vegas, 10 rounds, 10 days. Patrick's trying to figure it out, and then he didn't read the end. It says on the bucket list. Well, that was one of our questions there in segment one, was kind of an off-the-wall sport, not football, baseball, basketball. Look, I mean, I get it. The Masters is the golf. Golf is still a niche sport. There's probably plenty of you listening this morning like, man, these guys in this Masters discussion talk about anything else. I get it, but also it's kind of a big deal around here, and there are people who get really fired up for the Masters, but it's still
I'm almost more interested, though, because this is, for people that aren't even golf fans, they'll watch the Masters or a little bit of the Masters. So what would be the, like, do you watch one race of NASCAR a year? Like, are there people that are not NASCAR fans, but they'll watch the Daytona 500, or like they're not tennis fans, but they'll wake up on Sunday in the summer and watch the Wimbledon final? Or like, I think the Masters is in that kind of category for a lot of people. Obviously, we have a ton of like hardcore golf fans, but the Masters is just something I think you put on because it makes it feel like summer's here or spring's here. And it's nice to look at, and there's a lot of history, and you like to hear that music and look at the shots of Amen Corner and all that good stuff. It just kind of feels nice to watch, even if you're not a golf fan.
I think if we were doing this radio show somewhere else, say Baton Rouge, Louisiana, if we were in another SEC town, and you don't have Augusta an hour from us, I think there's a lot of people. I've grown up here. I've lived in Lexington since I was 3. I was born in Columbia. Being so close, I think at some point there's a lot of people who, whether you like golf or not, you know enough about the Masters, you know what it is. Again, I mentioned this yesterday. Typically, in years past, this is the weekend that South Carolina has their spring football game, and the spring game, people have gotten upset in the past because the spring game would coincide with Masters weekend, and on Saturday you'd have to choose between one of the two. I know a lot of people that have had. I know a lot of people that have had tickets, and you know they'll elect to go to the spring game and give their Masters tickets away, or vice versa. So, but it kind of comes together also because with the Masters, with Augusta being an hour away, you have people that stay in Columbia and then commute down for the day and then drive back. So they eat at some of the restaurants, they do some other things, and then you kind of see them around. Yesterday, I was out and about, and it felt like if you were hanging out anywhere yesterday, if you had a Masters logo shirt, you were wearing it yesterday. You were completely invested. And so, again, it's a different sport. I agree. Look, it's not golf as a whole is not football, baseball, basketball. Gamecock Will, who's just bitter about everything, just never in a good mood, said, "What's worse than golf on TV, golf on radio?" Yeah, no, and that's fine. Of course, I don't know if I would listen to golf on radio either. Like the play-by-play of it, I would listen to Patrick and I discuss it all day long. Gamecock Will is just never in a good mood, and this morning is particularly not in a good mood. Again, he might not have liked my singing. So here's a good question in from Chris. He says, choose between the Open Championship is the same in the UK as the Masters is here. I think what he's asking is the Open Championship.
Yeah, because I think he's referring to you saying that the Masters is a bigger deal here because it's so close.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think that's the case, because I can tell you that, like, I listen to, when I'm overnight working, I just listen to like DC radio, and all they're talking about is the Masters as well. Like, people all over the country are very much invested in the Masters just because it's the Masters, and like the I don't even know, the everything about it, the green jacket is and the whole just vibe of the Masters. Maybe people are more familiar with it here or more likely to have gone to the Masters here, but it still carries a bunch of weight everywhere, I think.
Kentucky.
Because all the golfers, like, I mean, there's golfers from California, like Colin Morikawa, who will be my pick to win. He's from California, and he grew up knowing how big of a deal the Masters is. Like, that's the tournament you want to win. It's not just I don't think it's just a regional thing.
We were talking about kind of off the wall sporting events you might want to go to, not football, baseball, basketball. Kentucky Joe hits us up. I had to look this up. The Isle of Man TT, or Tourist Trophy races. It is a motorcycle event on the Isle of Man, a tiny country between England and Ireland, and it turns into a motorcycle nirvana in the months of May and June. Every May and June, the Isle of Man. Good one. That's a different one. There's some videos on that. So we've got a rodeo in Las Vegas for 10 days from anonymous texter, and you've got the Isle of Man Tourist Trophy races, an annual motorcycle event held. So you've got those two. So good. Keep those coming if you've got someone else there. 803-404-6100 is how you can join us. Dennis weighs in. We'll check on this. We'll look it up. Dennis on the text line asks, good morning, fellas. How many spectators a day are being allowed at Augusta National this year? Patrick, maybe you can look that up for us real quick and get that information, and we'll share that. I'm not sure what they ended up cutting it down to. I know it's pretty significant starting today. Tickets have been almost impossible to come by. Again,
I'm seeing Golf Digest says the guesstimates, there will be 12,000 people on the grounds per day, cut from an average of 40 to 50,000 during a normal tournament.
Okay.
I don't know what that means about patrons, but it just says limited.
Yeah, you said 12,000 people on the ground.
12,000 people on the grounds overall.
I want to say that the rough number that I'd heard was about 9,000. I think we did this, and they were not releasing the Masters was not releasing the actual number, but some reports I heard from
it does say the estimate is based off the city of Augusta saying it expects to need 6,000 parking spaces in total, 3,000 for fans and 3,000 for workers.
Okay. Well, there you go. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. It gets going here in about an hour and 22 minutes. We'll keep you updated throughout the day, and obviously tomorrow. We'll talk more Masters as we go through the show. There was some South Carolina basketball news yesterday that took place. I forgot to mention it in hour number one. The Gamecocks picking up. Obviously, there's been a lot of there's 4 guys in the transfer portal, 2 guys declaring for the draft. We're still waiting on AJ Lawson. South Carolina has already landed one player out of the transfer portal. Chico Carter, a former Cardinal Newman point guard, was at Murray State. Yesterday, they landed a second player out of the transfer portal, 6'7", 230-pound Small forward, A.J. Wilson from George Mason. Wilson will be a senior. Last year at George Mason, he averaged 8 points and 5 rebounds for the Patriots. Again, he'll have 1 year to play. He's from Laurel, Maryland. Patrick, I'm not sure where is that. Do we have a
PG County?
Okay,
Yep.
there you go. So his numbers were actually down last year from, and maybe there might be a good reason for this. I didn't go digging. As a junior in 32 games, A.J. Wilson averaged 12 points and 7 rebounds. He shot 33% from three-point range, 60% from the foul line in 27 minutes of action. Last year, the 2021 season, the one we just passed, he only averaged 8 points and 5 rebounds in 23 minutes of action. So his time went down, his points went down, everything pretty much dropped. He did not shoot it well last year, 24% from three-point range. But the Gamecocks add another player from the transfer portal. Patrick, this just on the surface, just having not watched a video of A.J. Wilson, I'm just looking at the numbers, looking at the height, the weight, reading just a little bit about him. It appears that this is the replacement for Justin Minaya. When you just look at size, the fact that he can rebound a little bit, he is an okay shooter. He's not a great shooter. This looks like just your replacement for for Justin Minaya.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a couple blocks a game. Seems like he's probably a pretty good defender. We'd really have to try and find more, I guess, the advanced analytics, the efficiency numbers, but I don't know if those exist for George Mason basketball. But I don't know. Have you done a thorough Googling of this kid? Is there film anywhere?
I'm sure there is
on YouTube.
Yeah, I didn't do a throw. I was just pulling up his stats for this morning here as we were going to discuss him, and no, I did not go full film watching on him yesterday. I'll reserve judgment until I just see this.
I found a 2019 to 2020 highlight montage.
Okay, well, he had a good season in 2019, 2020. Again, his numbers went down. This is South Carolina now picking up. So South Carolina now, for those keeping track, you've got, I don't know how to break it down. You've got 4 guys in the transfer portal, 2 guys testing NBA water. So you got 6 that right now, you got 4 that are definitely not coming back. You got 2 that you're watching, that you're trying to figure out what they're going to do. Right now, you've got definitely 3 players signed coming in. Definitely. Jacoby Wright, Devin Carter, and Taquan Woodley. You've now got 2 transfers. So you've got at least 5 new players. You've got 4 exiting players and 2 that are trying to make up their mind. So if you're worried about rosters, look, South Carolina's going to have scholarship players next year. We'll continue to see. I don't know if attrition. I think South Carolina will continue to have some attrition on the basketball team. We know A.J. Lawson's going to do, or we assume A.J. Lawson's going to do something. It's. I think, as weird as everything has been the last few weeks, the fact that we haven't heard from A.J. Lawson yet might be one of the weirder things, just that he hasn't put his name in the draft. Maybe he's contemplating doing what Minaya did and putting his name both in the portal and the draft. I got to admit, the A.J. Lawson thing is just because we assumed, and maybe that was the problem. We just assumed, but the fact we haven't heard anything from him yet is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I'm watching the highlight film right now, and I was going to say highlight films are very deceiving because the first couple shots are him dropping threes, and I was like, that's a great looking stroke. This kid can probably shoot 3 pretty well. And then I looked at his numbers, and he's like 23% from 3. So very, very good handle though for a big guy. He is more skilled than Justin Minaya. I'm comfortable saying that after watching his highlight film for exactly 90 seconds.
Okay. Yep. You said he very good comparison to Minaya.
More skilled.
More skilled. Okay.
Yeah,
so yeah, we'll see. Jess weighs in this morning. Morning, sirs. Do you ever see Rick Pitino getting a big school coaching job anytime soon? Thanks, guys. I have a friend who used to coach for Pitino and stays in touch with him. I guess gets advice time to time. We were talking about Pitino a couple of weeks ago. Rick Pitino's up at Iona. I was just asking if Pitino might jump at any new jobs. He said the last conversation he had with Rick that he loves it. Is it Winged Foot, Patrick, that's right there by Iona? There's a big time golf course he was telling me about that Pitino can go and play. He's friends with some people there at Iona. No, I don't think Pitino's leaving Iona. I think he's going to ride it out there for a few more years. Coach, there's no pressure there. I think it's Wingfoot that's right by me because the buddy of mine that again is a college basketball coach was telling me about Pitino, and he said Iona is perfect for him. He's under the radar. He just coaches basketball. He's collecting a nice little paycheck. He's playing golf a lot. It's a pretty nice life. No, I don't see him getting back into the grind of a major coaching job. 803-404-6100. You can join us via that Cool Care Heating and Air text line or on the Love Chevy phone lines. We'll continue to look a little bit at the basketball situation. South Carolina picking up A.J. Wilson, a transfer from George Mason yesterday. The Masters is about an hour and 15 minutes away from getting going, and we'll listen to a little bit of Justin Stepp and Torian Gray. They talked. We'll talk a little bit about the Gamecock defensive backs and the wide receivers as we continue on here. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Oh, coffee is going. The stretching is going. Man, it feels like it has been a long week. I don't know about y'all, but it feels like a long week. I need to go get my Masters stuff that I got yesterday from my buddy.
Oops, I was muted. What time are you playing, John? I saw the video of the football players playing yesterday, and it looked pretty sweet. Seemed like not a lot of targets or whatever they are for so much field space. Like, I don't understand. I've never done top golf, so I don't understand the actual purpose of it. But I assume you're supposed to hit the targets, right?
Top golf?
Yeah. Did you see the videos of the football guys playing yesterday?
No, I didn't see that.
There were a bunch of them. It seemed like there were only like, I don't know, 6 or something along those lines of the big targets. They look like they were just kind of planted on the field. It looks like it's very difficult to hit. Let me see if I can find one of those videos. I thought I saw one on Jason Brown's Twitter. No, he just said.
Got my Masters cup here. 7:10 is your tee time.
Let's see.
I think I'm still going to Top Golf. My buddy who bought us tickets did not respond yesterday.
Yeah, Gamecock Football posted a video of R.J. Roderick swinging, and it looks like there are 5 or 6 targets across the whole field. That's going to be very difficult to hit those.
I would assume you're using a wedge or a 7-iron at most.
Oh, that's cool. And then behind them, there's screens. Oh, that's very cool. A lot of guys that have clearly never swung golf clubs before.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, that's again that we talked about that yesterday. That golf is one of those sports where you can be this great athlete, and you're like, oh, it can't be that hard. And then you go out there and just trying to make contact with the ball. It's more difficult than you realize.
When you just if you have no idea how to actually swing, which is a lot of people, which is pretty much me, because you don't realize how hard it is to hit the ball. You have to keep you have to keep the one arm straight so that you don't actually just whip over it.
Yeah.
If you try and just square it up, you're probably going to miss most of the time.
This is true. This is true. How much time are we going to have when we come back?
3 minutes.
Okay. Yes, Billy, your texts are coming in. I apologize. We meant to get to your text about Hudson Swafford. I forgot. Yeah, because Hudson Swafford, and then Billy said he's watching. I don't know if Billy's still watching on YouTube. Yes, your text.
Because I talked about him saying that on the live stream, so I don't know. He probably did not hear that.
Yeah, we'll mention it. You said about 3 minutes?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get into some audio. We'll do audio on I think you're going to have to listen a little bit more closely for the Masters update at the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Billy's communicating with us through the text line. That's good. Yeah, we hear you, buddy. Yeah, and since you're communicating through the text line, yeah, Hudson Swafford is from Lakeland, Florida, and played college golf at Georgia. While it's not a Bubba, I'm with Patrick on this. Hudson Swafford seems like an old school Southern name.
Yeah. He said it's like an Ivy League name or something like that. Ivy League, I think of like a Theodore or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. You're up.
(803-404-6100). How you can join us this morning discussing South Carolina picking up a second commitment out of the transfer portal. AJ Wilson, 6'7", 230 pounds, a senior. He'll be a senior from George Mason. Last year, averaging 8.5 rebounds. That was down from 12.7 rebounds his junior year. His minutes declined as well. Patrick has done a quick film study on him. I said it looks, if you just look at the numbers, if you look at the shooting percentage, if you look at the height, the weight, it looked comparable to Justin Minaya. Patrick has done a quick film study and said that looks more skilled, more athletic or more skilled?
More skilled. Good ball handler. Every highlight is him squaring up at the three-point line, either pulling it or making a nice drive to the lane. Kind of a slasher. Mm-hmm. I suggest that whenever you want to get excited about a player, only watch his highlight.
Everybody knows highlights are the best way to figure out instantly how good someone's going to be. Other just news yesterday. We talked about a little bit about it. We didn't get too much into it. Patrick's a Nationals fan, so we touched a little bit on the Braves and the Nationals. Again, it's a 162 game season, so there's plenty of time. The Nationals proved that 2 years ago, Patrick. What were they at near the
31?
19-31. They rallied. They won the World Series. You still don't want to start 0-6. And the Braves were sitting at 0-4 yesterday with a doubleheader against the Nationals. And not only were they sitting at 0-4, they got down pretty early in that opener, 4-1 in the first. And it looked bad. They rallied with 5 runs in the second to take a 6-4 lead. They end up holding on yesterday, 7 innings. I don't like this. I don't like the 7 inning doubleheader.
Players definitely do.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but the Braves end up winning the first one 7-6 and then win the second one as well. So the Braves get back on a 2-game winning streak yesterday. That was pretty big, obviously, for them to do. And we'll see if they're able to build off of it. But when they started 0-4, again, it's a long season. We get it, but you didn't want to start 0-6. That'll help them. So we'll get into our number 2 next. We're going to play a little bit of audio. Justin Stepp, Torian Gray. We'll have a football discussion a little bit here. Some of you joining in now. You're waking up. You're getting going. You got the coffee going. You're joining us on the live stream. Jan weighing in. Good morning to Jan. Sonny down in Conway. Good morning to him as well. Chris, RL talking about golf swings. You always got to talk about Charles Barkley when you talk about a golf swing. So we got the Masters here about an hour and 6 minutes away. I've got it up here on the television in the studio. I'm not at the studio, at the house. So we'll do that. We'll talk football. Anything else you want to do? 803-404-6100 is how you join us this morning. Wake up. It's a Thursday morning, April 8th. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Patrick Perrette, the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Quit.
Oh yeah, we'll discuss a little. Jan's from Conway. Jan, I didn't respond to your text about the boat ramp yesterday. I think I don't. Are you just looking to put it in? Are you looking to put the
Morning,
in once? I need to text you about that. Maybe not have that discussion on the live stream.
The what?
Jan sent me. I tell you what, Jan did send me yesterday that was really interesting. He sent me a bottle of Woodford. I think. I need to go back. Woodford Reserve. What Reserve? Woodford Reserve. And it's that. What is that? What's that? Baccarat. What's that card game they play overseas? I don't even know if it's a card game. Like really expensive.
I don't know. Baccarat?
Baccarat, is it? How do I say it? How to phonetically spell it out? How do I say? Yeah, B. You see what he said there? Jan said, "You want to guess?"
Baccarat?
You just want to take a ballpark guess of how much this bottle he sent to me was?
$300.
There is a 300 in it. It starts though with a $2,300
For a bottle of why?
I don't know. Here, I'll forward it.
Because it's old?
I don't think so. I'm gonna send it to you.
I would just never want to drink that.
Yeah, I would be too nervous. I have a bottle of Crown Oak Reserve, Crown Royal Oak Casket, Crown Royal Oak Casket in my whatever it's called in my cabinet, and I still haven't opened it because I get nervous to drink it. Like, as it's like too good. I don't want to have.
That's how I feel about Captain Morgan. I'll only drink the Admiral Nelson.
Admiral Nelson. Yeah, you gotta. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
It's good. That's how I feel. I feel how you feel about Woodford when I have a bottle of Tito's and I don't have to drink Taka.
I told you about what happened at that restaurant I went to the other night with the bottle of Angel's Envy.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody about that last night. It's still ridiculous. And I mean, I say bottle, I should say pour. Just 2 pours of Angel's Envy. Because I'll be honest, when I go to LJ's, I drink the house bourbon and water. Or yesterday it ended up being Sprite, but I just drink house bourbon typically wherever I go. I don't, unless I'm like going to a nice dinner. I don't drink expensive stuff.
Yeah, I've never asked for a particular liquor. I'd just say rum and coke or whatever.
Oh, you better.
Whatever they pour.
You better. They'll get you the high end stuff. All of a sudden, you have a $12 drink. If you're not specific, you better always say house.
Well, that did happen a couple weekends ago. The same thing that happened to you. I thought my tab was going to be like $30. I ended up being 3 digits. I was like, whoa.
John, I have a bottle of that Evan Williams apple. I haven't opened it yet. I've got a bottle of Crown apple in there, and I got a bottle of Evan Williams apple. I haven't gotten into the apple. I did finally take a shot a week ago of the peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah, I tried that recently. The Screwball.
It wasn't bad. I mean,
it was good.
I mean,
that's one of those things I'll take shots of. I hate taking shots of bourbon, like whatever regular kind of bourbon it is. But the peanut butter one, I can do. And Fireball. I need a little flavor.
Some of the guys that I hang out with, they get on a shot kick and they do Jaeger. They'll do Jaeger bombs. For some reason, they've been on a weird dill pickle kick lately.
Jaeger bombs are my favorite shot, but if there's not enough Red Bull, I'll get the shakes.
Yeah, we talked about the Pappy Van Winkle. A buddy of my dad's has got a Pappy Van Winkle collection, and he doesn't drink it. It's just sitting there. And so we've been joking that when he passes away, some bum is going to get, some bum is going to get his Pappy Van Winkle collection and be mixing it with Coke or Diet Coke or something.
Is this like a Chris? You talking about like a Boilermaker with Screwball and chocolate stout? Sounds pretty good, actually. I generally don't like chocolate or coffee or whatever kind of beers, though.
What do you mix that with, Jan? What do you mix Crown salted caramel? Yeah, I've been mixing all kinds of stuff, Chris, with Peach Crown. Peach Crown is really good.
I've just been drinking a bunch of orange juice and tequilas recently.
Orange juice and tequila?
Yeah.
There's a bottle of tequila. You know what? I might buy it while we're doing the show. Ooh, just Crown salted. Ooh, wow. Some I blew Billy on the text line. Billy apparently does not want us to see his either he can't join us, he can't text in or send in on the live feed, so he sends everything in via text. Drink some Tarantula Blue Agave Tequila.
I don't even know what that is. I buy the cheapest tequila in the shop. I'm drinking Montezuma.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was this? There's an Ocean's Tequila. Yeah, Ocean Organic. Oh, vodka. It's vodka. It's not tequila. Ocean Organic Vodka by Caskers. Let me see if I can show you this bottle. I just kind of want to buy it because of the bottle. I'm not a huge vodka drinker. You see that bottle?
Oh yeah.
I just want to have the bottle kind of in my.
Cool looking bottle.
It's only about $30. It's not.
Tequila. I feel like tequila has the coolest bottles in general.
Yeah, I do need to get some tequila for the weekend. I did text Steve Fink yesterday about I did text him. He was checking with Luke Day, but he wasn't sure because I didn't text him until like 4:30. And I told him we'd send Luke Day the link to the live stream to get him in on that. All right. Hey, we'll kind of open up. Let's see how long we go. I might call for one of those Justin Stepp pieces here. If not, we'll definitely do it in the next one. Oh.
What?
There you
go. Yeah, I got the one. Him talking about just who stood out. One of the first questions he got asked, and then the one on him talking about Satterfield.
Okay.
And then Torian Gray one is him just saying, "We're green" like 10 times. Just reiterating how green this secondary is. You're up.
Speaking a little bit of fashion, got my Masters pullover. I was looking for the logo. My Masters pullover on. Got my Masters cup back behind me here that my good buddy Jim Thompson acquired for me yesterday when he was down there checking everything out, making sure the course was in good shape. Everybody knows Jim Thompson is the best there at making sure the greens look good, that the grass is growing properly, that Augusta National is in good shape. So he went down there yesterday and took care of it. And now he's back in town, and now we get ready to watch. But he brought me back a pullover. So speaking of a little bit of fashion, as we play Masters music in the background, I've got my pullover on. I've got my cup behind me. I'm ready for tee off here in about 56 minutes down in Augusta. If you want to join us this morning to talk the Masters or something else, we're gonna play some audio this morning coming up this hour from Justin Stepp and Torian Gray, talk a little football. 803-404-6100. You can get us up. Cool Care Heating and Air text line. You can get in touch with us that way. Love Chevy phone lines as well. You can also reach us on the live stream. Go to youtube.com. Type in 107.5 The Game. You can find the early game stream, the YouTube page. You can subscribe to that. We ask you to subscribe to that. Join us there for fun. I think we were at 750 209 subscribers yesterday when I last looked. We'll take a quick glance here now and see how many subscribers we're at. Still at 709. So you can go join us. You can see, well, I was going to say our pretty smiling faces, but you can see our faces. You can see what we look like, and you can see the background, and you can see everything that is going on here as we hang out. Still, I'm in my living room. Patrick in the studio holding things down. Tim and Jen will be back on Monday from their respective vacations. They did not vacation together. I think Jen went to Chicago and Tim got away with the family to the beach. So they're having a nice week away. Patrick and I will be joined by them next week, and we will all be one big happy family again. Until then, you get Patrick and I for about 5 more hours this week, 2 today, 3 tomorrow. We've been talking Masters. Again, we'll talk a little South Carolina football. And again, yesterday afternoon, one of the two, South Carolina lands a commitment from the transfer portal. Frank Martin landing A.J. Wilson, 6'7", 230-pound small forward / power forward. The Gamecocks pick him up from George Mason. He'll have 1 year of eligibility remaining, averaged 8 points, 5 rebounds this year in 23 minutes of action. But again, that was down. He averaged almost 13 points. I think it was a little over 12 points, almost 13 points, and 8 rebounds his junior year. Again, just looking at numbers. And then Patrick did the film review, but I was just looking at the numbers. Looks to me like a replacement for Justin Minaya, kind of a versatile forward that could maybe go down and play down low, or a guy who can step out on the perimeter and knock down some shots. Shot 32% from 3-point range his junior year. That again decreased last year. So tough year for him. But we'll see how that translates. The Gamecocks now with 5 expected new players, 3 freshmen, 2 transfers. Carlos Williams is a guy I haven't heard a thing about. He is committed to South Carolina, 6'6", kind of burly forward out of Mississippi, is committed, is expected to sign this month. No reason to think he's not going to sign. We just haven't heard about it. If he signs, that would give the Gamecocks 6 new players currently for next year's roster. Again, at the current moment, 4 guys transferring out, 2 guys in the transfer portal. And as we stated, it's a little strange, just a little strange that we haven't heard anything from A.J. Lawson, who going into the offseason, Patrick, was the one guy that I felt certain we would hear from pretty quickly. And it's been a month. I'm kind of interested to see what he may do. So
yeah, the weird part is, I mean, obviously he's still weighing his options, but I mean, you would have thought that he would have at least just made the announcement, I'm going to go through the draft process, and he can continue to weigh his options and think about whatever he wants. But like, it doesn't cost you anything to enter the draft process. So I'm with you. It's very surprising that we haven't heard anything from him.
Well, I think the fact that is he entered twice? Did he enter after his freshman year?
There's not a limit. You can enter every
that's
year,
what I'm
right?
saying. I was going to say, but at this point, I think he knows who he is. Like, it's.
I don't want to go to the combine again. He's just.
Well, I don't know what information he's going to get back from the NBA people that he doesn't already know. It's for AJ Lawson. It's an interesting situation because I do feel like for him, he knows where he stands. He's not going to be drafted. He's He's a good college basketball player. He's still got things he's got to develop. I think it really comes down to, is he ready to go start a professional career? Is he ready to go try and chase the G League, which I think he could play in the G League. I definitely think he could start there and get coaching and do all the things that you can to work your way to a 2-way contract, to work your way onto a roster, but he's going to need development. Does that development come for 1 more year in college, or does it start professionally? I feel like that's potentially what he's weighing. So it's going to be interesting to see. And again, the fact that we haven't even heard anything, maybe today. And look, he's got plenty of time, so it's not like it's a rush either. Let's be honest about that. There's no major rush on what he needs to do.
Do you know when the deadline is I can look that up.
Yeah, I want to say, I don't know when the deadline is to declare. I want to say the deadline to exit the draft is about early June. So
May 30th.
May 30th is the deadline to declare.
Deadline to declare. Yeah.
So he's got more than enough time. So it's a little something with South Carolina basketball there. We'll continue to monitor that. 8:03 404-6100. I appreciate Gamecock Will weighing back in. Thank you, my man. And I understand. He says he was not bitter about the golf. He was just shaken by my rendition of the Masters theme music, which that, my good man, is totally understandable. If you missed hour number 1, we learned. Did you know the Masters theme music, what is playing in the background right now, first appeared on CBS in 1982, and it has lyrics? I'm not going to sing them again. I've already done that once this morning, and it seems it was tough. It was tough for all of us. We braved it. It was the very first segment, but yeah, the Masters theme song. It has lyrics, and apparently they've been altered to include Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson over the years. So first time 1982, and you'll hear plenty of it over the next 4 days, not just right here. So if you want,
there's nothing that reaches that level of, like, you know it off the top of your head automatically. You can whistle it or whatever. You always nothing is that synonymous, right?
2 things: Masters themes, both CBS songs.
The basketball.
No, I'm gonna go. No, you're talking about like for an intro. Not. We did a little bit about the one shining moment. I gotta admit, man, Yep.
This one.
Oh no, that's the basketball.
This is what I was talking about. That was
the basketball's good. And it's going to change because of the television contract, but the CBS theme music for SEC football, the 3:30 game. That's
yeah.
That also is one that, I mean, that's one that you start playing a little bit in June and July. Maybe have it on your phone as a ringer. That's a good one. That'll change a little bit with the television contract. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Saturdays in the South right there. And I got to admit, and I know a lot of you don't like him, Verne Lundquist. Look, I never tuned in to a CBS Saturday afternoon game to hear Verne Lundquist break down the game, but that voice and some of the calls,
it feels important.
It feels important.
Everything about the CBS 3:30 game makes it feel important.
I agree. So it was obviously Verne not on the call anymore, but yeah, I miss old Verne Lundquist, and occasionally him not knowing the name of whoever ran the football or threw the football or made the tackle or the head coach. I realized Verne was making some mistakes, but yeah, I do that. Yeah, by the way, Mark on the live stream says, you sang? Yes, I did sing. And if you want to check it out for yourself, you can go visit that. All of our shows are archived on the YouTube page. So anything you ever miss, you can actually go to, if you subscribe to the YouTube page, or if you're sitting and you want to hear us during the day, you don't want to listen to Dan Patrick, you can actually go to the YouTube page, subscribe, and all the shows are archived. So if you want to hear me sing the Masters theme song this morning, it was at about 6:12 this morning. It was the opening segment. You can go back and you can actually watch it and you can hear it. It was an experience unlike any other.
Unfortunately, you can't hear the Masters theme music in the background because we can't play any music on YouTube or we'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
But I will pull the audio for us.
It's sweet of you. It's very sweet of you. So if you want to join us this morning, 803-404-6100 is how you can do so. Again, we're going to play some audio coming up here in the next segment. Justin Stepp, Torian Gray talking yesterday, Gamecock football. The wide receiver position, Patrick, is obviously they're going to lose Shi Smith, and that's going to be very, very difficult to go back and try to replace that. But there are bodies there. I mean, there are players there. There are guys who came to South Carolina with some expectations. Trey Smith is back. Josh Vann has obviously not had the career that he wanted to have, but was considered a very good recruit. Rico Powers is going into his second year in the program, and is a guy that they were high on. The Kerryon Joyner, we know, is a very good athlete. Patrick, you look at this wide receiving group. Is there a particular player that you look at and you say, okay, I'm extremely interested to see him, or that's the guy that really has to step up? Or is it so unknown with the wide receiver position that you just basically throw them out there on the field come September and go, okay, just cross your fingers, somebody steps up?
Well, I think the most important thing will be either probably Jalen Brooks or Rico Powers stepping up, because while We know that Amarion Brown has contributed at Power 5 level. Like he will probably play some sort of role. Dakereon Joyner was the one getting hyped up the most by Justin Stepp. But again, smaller guys, slot guys. You're going to need someone that's big that can win on the outside, or at the very least, Luke Doty can feel comfortable kind of just throwing up a jump ball. Like you need like when an Alshon Jeffrey, who when everything is collapsing, you can just throw the ball up and hope that he comes down with it. That's what we haven't had for a little while since Brian Edwards, someone that you can just toss the ball up. Because how many times did we see Brian Edwards make just absolutely ridiculous catches, like one hand in the corner of the end zone, just outrageous catches that the play was completely broken down and Jake Bentley just felt comfortable hucking it up to him. That's what South Carolina's offense is going to be missing, especially with a young quarterback who's going to be starting the beginning of the season, really his first true starting experience as a quarterback, going through all the spring practices and everything. I kind of throw out all of last year for Luke Doty because it was just such a mess and he didn't even practice quarterback half the time. So,
yeah, there's so many and going into last year, I remember us, you, Tim, and I having this discussion. And you and Tim, I was on the side of saying, hey, I believe in Shi Smith. I think he'll step up and be a very good wide receiver because I've seen him make plays in his career. And I think you and Tim were both kind of against me on that. And it's totally different this year. There are bodies out there, and there's not that elite as we sit here on April 8th. There's not that elite receiver that you can really count on. I mean, this is a little bit different, at least with Shi Smith going into his senior year. I had seen catches and plays and things done that made me say, okay, that guy can step up and be the number one, be wide receiver number one. I don't know who that is with this group, but there's a ton of bodies out there. When you go through the list, Craig on the live stream mentions Xavier Legette, a guy that I've forgotten about that they were very high on. Jakari Caldwell, you mentioned about a jump ball type of guy, 6'5". That was the number one wide receiver in the state of South Carolina 2 years ago. They land him out of, I think it was Northwestern High School up in the upstate. He comes in, he played a little bit last year, and then under Joe Cox just disappeared. They spoke highly of him, and then he just disappeared, as it seemed all the wide receivers did. You're not lacking depth at the position. You're lacking anything that's proven. Or Trey Smith might be the most proven wide receiver out of all of them. And we haven't seen him in 2 years.
Well, yeah, this is why. And I mean, Stepp said it yesterday. If there are struggles, it's the next man up mentality. But I did feel like last year there was either not a next man that was ready at all, or we were just banging our head against the wall hoping that it would work. I mean, there was very little production from the receiving group outside of Shi Smith, and we also didn't see much change. So that's what I'm hoping this year, at least. Like maybe some guys are just gamers, but you do have a group of 6 or 7 guys probably that are all competing legitimately in competition for playing time. Xavier Legette's also a good one that, I mean, he was totally forgotten about because he was one of the 3 starters last year and just couldn't stay healthy. But I mean, we know how dynamic he is when the ball is actually in his hands because we've seen what he can do as a returner. I do think that if it's 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers out there right now, who are the 3 that you're thinking will be the 3? Dakereon Joyner, Jalen Brooks, and Legette?
I'll have to go back and look now. Obviously, it's spring, but Justin Stepp did say who that was yesterday, or maybe because I think they had an open practice yesterday. I did see who the 3 guys were running, kind of whatever you would deem.
I just saw him say that Joyner and Brooks have been standing out.
Yeah.
Or also the, I guess, hardest workers, beat them into the film room every day, always wanted to do more. So, I mean, that's the kind of guys that you're going to expect a coach to rave about anyway.
One other note, just to keep a theme going on this program that Tim likes to really push, that I'm a recruiting nerd. South Carolina has offered a quarterback. They are looking for their quarterback in this particular class. And South Carolina has offered Braden Davis, a 6'5", 200-pound quarterback out of the Northeast. He is a young man who's got several offers, and it's kind of looking around. His father, I need to go back and look at this, Patrick. His father played at Tennessee and was a first-round pick in the NFL draft, but I'm not sure who it was. I've just seen that I think he was an offensive lineman.
Antone Davis.
Okay. Braden Davis, 6'5", 200 pounds. He's from Middletown, Delaware. Again, you've seen South Carolina go into the Delaware area state now. And I forget, was Marshawn Lloyd from Delaware but played?
Yeah, he's from Wilmington, Delaware, but commuted an hour and a half or 2 hours into basically DC.
Yeah. And so, but they've gone and landed Marshawn Lloyd. Obviously, Debo Williams, the linebacker, now coming from Delaware College, I guess, Delaware University, whatever it is.
University of Delaware.
Coming from there, and now they are going after Braden Davis. He is considered a 4-star prospect by 24/7 Sports, the number 6 dual threat quarterback in the country's top 200 recruit. We'll see if that's a guy that they're able to land. He does have offers from Arkansas, Georgia Tech, Rutgers, and obviously South Carolina appears to be his top 4. He's also visited Stanford and Duke. So just an FYI on a recruit there.
His dad was looks like about an 8-year pro.
Okay.
Left tackle or offensive tackle and guard, 331 pounder. Played for the Eagles, Falcons, and Packers. Was a unanimous All-American when he was at Tennessee.
Okay. So there you go.
First round pick, number 8 overall.
So that's a little bit of a good football pedigree. We'll see what happens there. Is landing a quarterback in recruiting, Clemson's shown that is vital. You go out, you get a big-time quarterback. Obviously, it pays off. So South Carolina trying to get their quarterback. They thought they had a great chance with Tanner Bailey, a quarterback out of the state of Mississippi. He ended up committing to Oregon. So they've turned their attention now, and it is Braden Davis, 6'5", 200 pounds, out of Delaware. We'll listen to a little bit of Justin Stepp talk about the wide receiver some more as we continue on. If you want to weigh in this morning, 803-404-6100 is how you can do so. Billy hits us up on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line. He says, what are the requirements for attending the South Carolina spring game 2 weeks from Saturday? 9,000 tickets were sold. It is sold out. I haven't really paid attention to any requirements in terms of vaccinations or masks or whatever. I think it's pretty wide open, but it's 9,000 tickets. They've all been sold. They're all gone. I don't think you can, if you don't already have one, I guess maybe there's some out there that you can acquire, or maybe a buddy has one. But I don't think right now if you have a ticket, or if you don't have a ticket, you're getting it. South Carolina just limiting the amount of tickets they had for this particular year's spring game. So that's kind of where they stand right now with that. Again, if you want to ask a question, you want to weigh in on the wide receivers, 803-404-6100, Cool Care Heating and Air text line, or the Love Chevy phone lines. Join us on the live stream. Mark asking, yes, Tim is off all week. Yep, Tim getting a whole week off, a good vacation for old Tim Hill. He'll be back on Monday. We'll be back here in a minute. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. All right. I'm going to use the little boys' room real quick.
Yeah, I got to play this spot for Tim, but I need to do the same thing. I can't even remember. Are you talking about the Hank Williams Jr. Monday Night Football song? Because I feel like they keep remixing it. They're doing the same thing with Sunday Night Football. Like they just alter it slightly every single year. I don't even remember what it is anymore.
I mentioned Josh. Van. Yeah, I mean that's another guy. You're right, Anthony. That's another guy that you throw in the mix there. That I don't know. Maybe goes out there. It's crazy. They've got a ridiculous number of scholarship wide receivers. I forget the actual number. I want to say it's 14 or 15 because you got Leggett, or you got Randrakis Davis is still playing. Randrakis Davis outlasted Will Muschamp. I mean, and I think Davis has made some play. We forget in the Outback Bowl, Randrakis Davis started, and I want to say had 5 catches. We started doing this live stream. I don't care to get on here and look anything up, but I think he had 3 or 5 catches. He started the Outback Bowl, and is a guy that if they can keep him healthy, he could make some plays. It's crazy. It's crazy he's still here. Get Patrick back. I've got to sit here and watch golf today and get his take on this. I don't know what y'all's is. I think I'm getting tricked into advertising. The Chipotle. I've never eaten Chipotle, but the quesadilla looks pretty good. I'm thinking I may have to get me one of these Chipotle quesadillas today and eat and have that for lunch. It looks delicious, but I don't know if it's a television deal. Patrick, do you eat Chipotle?
Yeah, all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
How's the quesadilla? The chicken quesadilla?
I haven't gotten it. You have to order it online.
You have to order it online, or?
Yeah. It says only available in the app.
Huh. Not a fan of that.
Me neither.
New technology scares me.
The app is slow. If you go at the wrong time, sometimes they get overwhelmed with app orders, but you can always just hop right in line and roll through. But I go to Chipotle probably every week.
I've never eaten there. We've got one in Lexington. We've had one in Lexington for a little while. I've just never eaten there.
There's a million of them.
The only 2 that I'm aware of is, and there might be another one somewhere on 378 somewhere, but there's one downtown that I know about.
There's one in the by Target downtown. Off of
Oh, that's the other side of town.
Yeah, but I mean, those are the 2 I go to. Yeah, the move is you get more meat in a bowl. So what you do is you get a bowl, but ask for the tortilla on the side, and then you just kind of rip up the tortilla and make little bite-sized tacos.
Diablo's. I've seen that place. It's a taco place, DC?
Yeah. They advertise with us. I've heard them on our station.
Really?
I just went to Boca Grande, the new place by the Village in Forest Drive. It was I think the chef from Cantina or something opened a fast casual burrito place.
Uh-huh.
Good burritos. I got a chorizo burrito.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna hang. I need to go to the office and do some stuff today, and so I'll end up watching. Of course, coverage. I think actually golf Masters coverage doesn't start till like 3.
That's so dumb. Why do they do that?
Dude, they're in control. Masters TV coverage.
Why would ESPN not choose all of the coverage they can get? Why don't they just give Stephen A the day off and just play, and Greenberg just play the Masters all day?
Let's see here.
So you want to make the best burger ever? Make it.
I'm also in the mood for a good hamburger. Let's see. Free on CBS. So you can stream it free on CBSSports.com. It's also available on Paramount Plus. What that?
That is CBS.
TV coverage 3 to 7:30 on ESPN. So there you go. Yeah.
Paramount Plus is the new CBS app, Bill.
Is it?
Yeah, CBS. It used to be CBS All Access, and now it's just all under the umbrella of Paramount Plus. Because I had the CBS app for football season, then I deleted it, and then realized I needed it for March Madness, and then March Madness ended, so I'm going to delete it again, and then I realized, oh, wait, now I need it for the Masters, and I need it for Champions League and all sorts of stuff.
We come back. I'll open it and then I'll call for the Justin Stepp audio on who's standing out or what he said about standing out.
Yep.
Good morning, Todd. Glad to have you in. Oh, Sonny, you're trying to get ready for work. What do you mean you're getting ready for work? I think Masters Thursday and Friday is. I'm going to bring this up on air. Not right now, but later. I'm going to come back to what I was about to say.
Don't lose that thought.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Halfway through the Thursday morning show. Hope you're doing well. Sonny in Conway says he hasn't been able to listen as much because he's been getting ready for work. Are you getting yourself ready for work? Are you on the way? Maybe you've got the kids. They're not on spring break, but whatever you're doing, be safe. Just sit back, relax. Thursday morning, beginning of the Masters here in about 29 minutes. I believe first tee time is 8 a.m. We've looked it up. Hudson Swafford, who we debated with Billy on the live stream. We say it's a Southern name. He's from Lakeland, Florida. He went to college at Georgia. He will be the first to tee off this morning down in Augusta. So we get going with the Masters. Yesterday, Justin Stepp talking with the media. Justin, y'all, by now you should know the story. He and his brother Josh from right here in Columbia went to Pillion High School, set a million records over there. Fantastic athletes. Has gone on. Both of them have gone on to great coaching careers, doing big things. Justin, conceivably, Patrick, Justin Stepp was or is, I think he's there. He and Torian Gray, the two guys that spoke yesterday. We'll listen to Torian Gray in the next hour as well, talk about the defensive backs. I think you make the argument that it's either Justin Stepp or Torian Gray that was the biggest hire for Shane Beamer this offseason. Landing Justin Stepp. He is a proven wide receiver coach. He's a proven recruiter. To me, when I look at the offensive staff, he is the name that instantly jumps out at me, having him on staff. Again, it's either he or Torian Gray. Both guys with SEC experience. I know Greg Atkins, offensive line coach, has coached in the SEC at Georgia and Tennessee. But to me, Justin Stepp was the biggest hire. Do you agree with that? Are you willing to take that one, or are you going somewhere else on that?
Well, the biggest, as in most well-renowned already, I'm with you there. I mean, obviously Marcus Satterfield will be more important. How he does, his success or failure will be more important to the overall future of the program. But I'm with you in that Justin Stepp, the reputation he already had coming into it in this conference was superb. So, yeah, I'm with you in that regard.
Let's listen to a little bit of what he had to say yesterday. Here's him talking about the wide receivers and who has stood out so far.
Now, as far as some of the guys that have stood out, man, we've had some really good practices. I just finished the fifth one today. Really, the first guy that comes to my mind that's making a ton of plays and just doing a great job of leading our group is DK. I mean, just can't say enough great things about him and how he's been. Jalen Brooks, JB, has done an unbelievable job. I mean, that kid, JB and DK, they're up here every day. I mean, they'll probably beat me. We start watching film here at 1 o'clock. They'll probably beat me in there to start watching it. So they've done a really good job. I mean, Ortre showed up. Trey Atkins has done a good job. Rico. We got some guys back that weren't practicing there at the very beginning. So those guys have done a good job of getting back into the groove. And, man, I'm really excited about our group.
To hear him, Dakereon Joyner, I don't know what kind of career, what kind of season he's going to have, or, how this thing wraps up for him as he moves forward. I think as a Gamecock fan, and I think, even if you're a Clemson fan, if you're a Georgia fan, whatever, you have players on your team that maybe they don't live up to the billing or don't live up to the hype for whatever reason, but you've got to respect them. Dakereon Joyner's got time to live up to that. It's going to be at wide receiver, not quarterback, as I think he wanted it to be. But I say this for Dakereon Joyner, for him to be the first guy mentioned by Justin Stepp. And I think Justin Stepp may be a guy that turns Dakereon Joyner into a big-time wide receiver. There's no questioning Joyner, Patrick. There's no questioning that Dakereon Joyner has the athletic skill set to be a wide receiver. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I ever played college football or high school football and understand all the nuances of playing the wide receiver position. In talking with people that do know that stuff, they say it's a little bit more difficult than just going out there, running 5 yards, turning around, and catching a pass. But Dakereon Joyner is doing everything asked of him by his coaches, whether it was Will Muschamp and Mike Bobo, or now Marcus Satterfield and Justin Stepp and Shane Beamer. He is doing everything he can and being, I think, the consummate teammate for this program. And you've got to pull. Sonny hits us up and on the live stream and says, man, I wish nothing but good things for Dak. He is stuck with this program through thick and thin. He deserves all good things that come to him. So much respect. I agree. And you pull for a kid like that to go out this year and have a big season.
Yeah, we've been saying for years, hey, get this kid snaps at quarterback. I mean, we thought if you were going to leave him at quarterback, just sitting him on the bench, we've been saying put some packages in for the kid. But now that he's a full-time receiver, I think he sees a potential future here. He knows that this is his best chance of probably going to the NFL and playing football as a career. So it's great to see him putting in all this work. We know what he can do with the ball in his hands. I mean, we've seen it, whether it's just the end around against Vanderbilt last year or anytime he touches the ball, he's really dynamic. And you got to hope that whether he gets all the nuances of route running down right away, I'm sure it's going to be a work in progress. But we know how dynamic he is, and good coordinators can put the ball in guys like that hand no matter what. Like Florida last year with Kadarius Toney is not the sharpest route runner. Like I've watched a bunch of him for the draft stuff I'm doing, and that's what everybody says is that he's not a sharp route runner, but Dan Mullen is phenomenal at just scheming him the ball and giving him space to run and work with it. So if South Carolina can do something like that, I doubt there are 5 guys on the team that are more dynamic with the actual football in their hands than Dakereon Joyner.
It was criminal. There's no doubt about it. It was criminal the way that Mike Bobo and even Brian McClendon used him. I'm with you. We talked about that 2 years ago when it was Ryan Helinski as the starting quarterback and saying, why do you not just have small packages to throw a curveball at the defense with Dakereon Joyner coming in? He could look. Do I think he's the world's best passer? No. But he could throw the ball. When people say put him in as a wildcat quarterback, to me, that's a guy that's going to catch the football and just take off running with it. Joyner gave you a level of passing that at least would have kept the defense honest. We'll see if he gets used this year. We'll see if he, again, it's spring. You get the talk, you get the excitement, you get all the expectations. You've got to use him, but he was definitely underutilized by the previous staff, just getting him the football in situations to make plays, make guys miss, and pick up yardage.
There's no way I could be convinced that the offense would not have been better the last few years if you had 5 plays, just as few as 5 plays a game where you put Dakereon Joyner at quarterback and just have a couple plays for him. Like it can be designed runs. It can be just quick RPOs, simple concepts that everyone can be on the same page for. Yeah, I mean, it is. Nobody would have blamed him if he would have left at any point in the last 2 years because I'm sure he did not expect his career to go this way. But look, I hope the best for him. I hope that Justin Stepp can turn him into. I mean, we're seeing RL just said Percy Harvin. I don't expect Percy Harvin, but I mean that's the type of thing that you can be getting. Like Percy Harvin, I can look it up, but I don't think he was catching like 100 balls a year. I think he was just getting quality touches with room to work with and make things happen after the play. I don't think Dakereon Joyner is going to be in the slot and be Julian Edelman just catching balls, 6-yard passes underneath all day long and tearing defenses apart. I think he's going to do most of his damage after the catch and with the ball in his hands, making guys miss.
Yeah, I mean, and moving on from that, you've got from moving on from Dakereon Joyner, again, there's a lot of bodies there that you're going to have to utilize and a lot of different skill sets. You mentioned Amarion. Is it Amarion? Am I saying that correctly?
Amarion, yeah.
Amarion Brown, the transfer from Georgia Tech. On the live stream, I brought this up. I know he's forgotten and he's forever injured, but Randrakis Davis is still there. And I don't know how to describe this with Davis, but remember if we can remember this far back into the good times of the Will Muschamp era, Davis started the Outback Bowl. And I believe in that game
Did he play for Spurrier, or was he just recruited by Spurrier?
He was recruited. He was one of Will Muschamp's first recruits. He outlasted Will Muschamp. He and Will Muschamp started together, and 6 years later, Davis is still here, and Muschamp's now at Georgia, ironically, where Davis was committed. But because Randarius Davis committed to Mark Richt at Georgia and was going to Georgia. And then when Mark Richt was let go by Georgia and Mark Richt went to Miami, Davis narrowed it down to Miami and South Carolina, ended up coming to South Carolina to play for Brian McClendon and obviously Will Muschamp. But Davis is still there, and he's got the ability to do some things and make some plays if he can stay healthy. And that's where
that's the issue. He's got multiple ACLs and probably 3 or 4 degrees at this point. How long he's been here?
Yeah, 6 years. Yeah, Luke. And that's on Luke Day, and that's on the training staff. And we'll see if that's something that changes. But yeah, then you talk about a guy like Jalen Brooks, and I think Jalen Brooks is interesting. The hype behind Jalen Brooks did get out of hand. There's no doubt about that last year.
I think that was the timing that he came in was unfortunate.
Yeah, the hype behind Jalen Brooks. But look at the production as Brooks became comfortable. And it's not great. He finished the year 10 catches for 100 yards. I'm not trying to tell anybody that Jalen Brooks is going to go be an all SEC wide receiver. But let's be honest, right now, South Carolina at the wide receiver position is just looking for consistency and a guy that can run 7 or 8 yards down the field and turn around and catch a football. And then in a perfect world, catch the football and then run somewhere and make a guy miss. And Jalen Brooks last year, it was a very slow start. He had some really bad drops against LSU. He had an awful one against Texas A&M that he was wide open down the field. It would have been a long touchdown pass, and he dropped it. But he had 3 catches against Mississippi for 47 yards, 3 against Missouri for 25, 3 against Georgia for 14. He had 1 for 11 in the Kentucky game. So 10 catches overall, 100 yards. Those aren't stats that make you stand up and say, hey, we've got a guy here we go. But I do think
how many games did he miss?
He came back for the LSU game. So where were they at the LSU game? I can't
remember.
They were 4-4 going into the LSU game. They were 4-4. So he got to play in the last 6 games. He got to play in the last 6 games. So he came back after the last victory. He came back after the bye week. But and I think when we talk about the wide receiver position, you talk about 2 things. You talk about the coaching ability of Justin Stepp, and you hope that his reputation as a wide receivers coach. Say what you want about Steve Spurrier Jr. As a recruiter, whatever. Steve Spurrier Jr. did develop wide receivers. I mean, Kenny McKinley was a high school quarterback when he came to South Carolina. Ace Sanders was not an all big-time recruit when he came to South Carolina. Bruce Ellington was an incredible athlete, but wasn't necessarily a true wide receiver when he came to South Carolina. Pharaoh Cooper was a guy who played multiple positions. At times they thought about putting him at defensive back. He developed. And then you obviously had Alshon, and you had other guys that would go on to be really good receivers. Steve Spurrier Jr. could develop wide receivers. Justin Stepp is going to have to do the same. And so I think his coaching ability is one thing you talk about. The other is, again, as we're kind of pointing out in this segment, the number of bodies you have to find. I don't know. What do you want? 6 guys, Patrick? And this isn't counting tight ends. We're not talking about Nick Muse and Kevion Mullins and E.J. Jenkins and all these tight ends that have to be a part of the offense as well. We're just talking strictly wide receivers. And what do you think? 6 guys? 7 guys that can just simply go out and consistently catch a pass?
Well, that's a lot. I mean, you really just need – there's going to be no more than 3 on the field at any given time. If you could have a clear 3 guys that are going to give you production and then just a couple guys that are there to just stand there and – I don't know. 6, you're not going to have 7 guys that you're going to actually be comfortable with out there. We have 7 guys that we can talk about, but, I mean, that they're all returning, and none of them were productive last year, so that's a little generous.
Craig hits us up on the live stream, and I think he's right when he said there are 17 wide receivers, and he's not being funny. I think I was saying this on the live stream. Yeah. I think scholarship-wise, it's in the neighborhood of 14 or 15. Steven hits us up. again on the live stream. He says, I believe Justin Stepp will bring this receiving core back to what we expect. That's what you hope. That's what you hope. Justin Stepp was brought in, and that's why I said it is certainly, I think, name recognition-wise was the biggest hire for Shane Beamer because Justin's a local guy, because of his background and everything. And certainly he hit an absolute home run during his introductory press conference there. I think talking about being back home and everything, growing up and pulling for South Carolina. Steven, also another Steven, different Steven, says, love Joyner, but not convinced he runs decent routes or is a decent passer. Well, you don't have to worry about the passer part. We assume anymore. All I was saying with him is passing was he wasn't just a guy like, I think what Florida used Kadarius Toney basically in the Wildcat occasionally. Tony wasn't scaring you at all passing. Like when he was back there, you knew it was.
But he wasn't running great routes either, though. That's why,
right.
Steven, like, that's fine. You don't have to be convinced, but he's dynamic with the ball. Like you have to find ways to get guys like that the ball, whether it's they're crisp route runners or not.
So yeah, and again, so I think the two parts with this wide receiving group, the number of guys you've got, and that's a good thing. There's not a guy right now that we look at and we say, hey, there's your wide receiver number one. There's a guy that you can count on, but you've got so many guys. Hopefully you can find. I think it's going to be by committee again this year. I think when we look at catches at the end of the year, it's conceivable that Nick Muse, who again, we're not even joining in this conversation because he's a tight end. He's being coached by Eric Kimmery of 107.5 The Game fame. You're not even counting in the tight ends, which have got to play a role. Have got to play a role for this offense to do any kind of damage this year. For it to be somewhat respectable, the tight ends and the running backs are going to be your focal point. But you've got so many wide receivers. You've got to find, I think, 4 or 5 guys that, again, can go out and, you know, as Billy says, or I think it was the anonymous texter sends in, he says, don't forget how terrible our wide receiving coaching has been under Muschamp. Yeah, you got to just find some guys who can simply go out and just catch a football. Kelly hits us and says the wide receivers weren't productive because the quarterback couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from 10 yards. Kind of, but man, what was it, the Florida game, Patrick, where they had 7 drops early on? I'm not saying the quarterbacks have been great. It's not been Steve Tannehill out there, but at the same time, you've hit some guys in the hands. They've got to make some catches. We'll continue on. We'll talk more about the wide receivers. We'll listen to some Torian Gray in the next hour as well. We're about 13, 14 minutes away from the Masters getting going. They don't show the live coverage right now, so for all I know, Jack and Gary Player, Lee Elder are all teeing off down there doing the ceremonial first tee shot. I don't know if they're doing that right now or not. They're not showing any live coverage, but I'm sure that is just moments away from happening as well. So it's a big Thursday. We hope you're being safe, getting to work, enjoying the morning. It's a beautiful day out there. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Patrick Pratt, 107.5 The Game. It's live on PGA Tour Twitter. Thank you, Hope. Oh, did Nicholas just hit it? Or we just keep going?
Let's see. Yeah, there it is.
All right, we're off and running.
So I heard yesterday that Koepka, people thought he was going to be out 6 to 8 months, but he had some microscopic surgery on his knee, and he's going to be able to play, but he won't be able to. He's physically incapable of crouching to read the greens. So he's just going to be apparently doing like an old man, like bend over, just trying to like get a good angle. And it'd be unreal if he actually won.
I don't know. I mean,
oh, God.
I know that, yeah, he came back. He's making an effort to come back.
Are these Jack's daughters that he's walking out with, presumably? Granddaughters?
Are they older or are they younger?
I don't know. They look like they're my age. Granddaughters, then, probably.
I would assume granddaughters.
Yeah. I don't know. The screen is, like, blurry, so I can't actually tell. It's buffering. Won't load.
Yeah. How is anybody listening? Sonny, you were listening on the radio. How is the radio broadcast? Were we still cutting in and out? You know, Patrick, we haven't had any text messages about that this morning.
No.
And I don't know if anything, I'm guessing if you're listening on the radio, everything sounds okay now. If you were listening, it wasn't cutting in and out. I guess. I don't know.
I guess. This is a long break.
It's a long break.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, will it end? Will it end before the hour ends?
I don't think so.
Can you just move a few commercials to the next hour?
Well, if it doesn't end before the hour ends, I will have to.
Okay. I got you, Sonny. I thought you said you were listening on the radio. Gotcha. Or when you were getting ready for work. I feel so left out. There's a golf tournament going on, but the way the Masters controls coverage, poor Golf Channel is just, they're showing me a weather report right now. 45%. Oh, goodness. Saturday now, there's an 84% chance of rain. Oh, good, Hope. Thank you. That was a good. Yeah, maybe we got it. It should have been fixed. That's good. That's good.
I like this. Sonny plugs the aux cord into his YouTube.
Yeah. Just keeping up. The YouTube stream is more fun. Like I said, we got to get a little creative. We'll get a little bit more creative with Tim and Jen get back. Okay, Billy says it was fine, so I think we're good. Billy's still pushing the Tarantula tequila. It has a blue color. I'll give it a try. I'll pick some. I'm not a huge. I drink margaritas. And that's occasionally margarita. Heartburn there. You know, you drink 3 of those things, heartburn. Getting old. Too old for that. You see my Masters cup? I really like this. This tells me that it will keep cold beverages cold for 9 hours and hot beverages hot for 3 hours. Triple insulated. I think this is become one of my new favorite cups. Cover up the kids. Put the kids behind the cup. How we looking there, buddy?
Not awesome.
Did I put you in a bind? I'll stick you behind the 8 ball there.
We're a little behind the 8 ball.
Save us. Get in there and save us.
Yeah. Just move this to 8.
Yeah. Frozen margaritas. Yeah, I can do more. And it's not really margarita season either. It needs to be. I need to break a sweat sitting outside to have a margarita. I'm not it's kind of like a Bloody Marys and margaritas are kind of similar to me in that they're seasonal drinks. You gotta, like, I can't do Bloody Marys in the summer. Too heavy. It's too hot. It's just doesn't sit well early in the morning.
We're about to come back.
Okay. You saved us?
Yeah.
No, Bill, I have not found a pass. I don't know if I want to. I've got kind of a busy weekend. Austin's got a doubleheader soccer game on Sunday, 1:30 and 3, so that kind of eliminates my Sunday. And then I'll go up to LJ's because I'm in a couple Masters pools. So I'll be, if anybody's in Lexington and you'd like to come by, come hang out, have a little watch party.
Yeah.
Wrapping up hour number 2, we'll play some Torian Gray. He spoke yesterday, South Carolina defensive backs coach. He spoke yesterday about the defensive backs. Certainly, that's a huge question mark going into the offseason. So we'll listen to him. The Masters, Jack Nicklaus has hit the opening shot. It is officially underway, folks. The Masters is underway. Raise your hands, clap them, give a little yell to your boss. It's a good day. It's going to be a great day. There's a little music for you as we get you going into the 8 o'clock hour, 7:54 here on 107.5 The Game. Bill Gunner, Patrick Perret. We're not Jim Nance. I'm not professional. But you get the point. You get the point. We're a lot of fun. We're more fun than Jim Nance, I feel like.
We're definitely more fun than Jim Nance.
Although Jim
He's
Nance,
not known for fun. He's just got a soothing voice.
I don't know. Doesn't Nance have the par 3 in his backyard?
Yeah, but the other people have fun on that.
It's true. So, okay, maybe Nance is as fun as we are. We don't know. We'll debate that as well. It is officially Masters Thursday. As Hope pointed out as well, the Braves won 2 games yesterday. Took 2 from the Nationals. We'll talk a little Major League Baseball as well. We'll keep you updated on everything. Torian Gray in the next hour. We'll hear what he had to say. We'll talk about the Masters. Anything you want to speak about, 803-404-6100. We can continue the discussion on wide receivers as well. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Patrick Perret. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Clear.
Sorry, Sonny. You got to be pro golf right now. You got to be pro golf. It's all Masters all the time.
This is the first time I've ever seen Lee Elder in my life. I had no idea who that was.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people who are a little confused by that. That's okay. All right, one more. Everybody get a coffee break. Come back and let's all discuss something. Coffee break for everybody. I think this pullover is slimming. I mean, I've added a little bit of weight because I haven't been able to work out. There you go, Twig. Christmas morning, I agree.
I guess I'm watching this ceremonial tee shot on a delay.
Speaking of, charge my father double today. I think he's going to be out there since I'm going to be at the office, and he's going to be hanging out with you guys playing golf today. That's a good father for you. Send your firstborn to the office to do your work.
He's a great player. Oh, it's buffering. Shoot. Everybody can watch the Gary Player tee shot. Come on. It's hard to. All right, that's a bust. This thing. Bill, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Do you think you're a better golfer right now than Gary Player?
No.
So if you and Gary went out and played 18, he would shoot better than you?
Oh, yeah. He still plays more than I do. You gotta, Gary. Look, golf is all about consistency and going out and playing a lot. I mean, you got to have some fundamentals and some technique, but I've played with old guys who play all the time because they're retired and their swings are atrocious and they don't know what they're doing, but because they play and they're consistent and they know exactly how they're going to hit the ball and the ball flight, they'll win every time.
So Nicholas would beat you too?
Oh yeah, probably so. If I got back to playing consistently, I could get back to being about 7 or 8 handicap. But I've got to play more. Steven needs to hook me up. I got to come back out there. Steven redid my clubs about this time last year. We re-gripped them. Re-gripped them, bought some new shoes too. New shoes, Captain Dan.
We'll try again. Oh, no, as soon as I was trying to hold my laptop up to the stream so people could watch the tee shot, but as soon as I lift up my laptop, it starts buffering.
Oh.
Who's Nicholas?
Oh.
That's
pretty sure we're breaking some kind of law.
I do follow a guy on YouTube that's definitely breaking the law because he streams all the pro days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I want to get back into a little bit of that. Justin Fields having a second pro day.
Yeah. For the 49ers exclusively, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, and the Panthers. How do you pronounce AJ? Is it AJ
Boye.
Boye?
Yeah. We-
We'll get your take on that as well. Remind me of that.
We can just touch on him. He wasn't all pro, but slightly washed.
Well, all right. What is the Golf Channel going to now? They are signing off. Obviously, this is
if you want to watch, you just have to watch on your computer right now. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Well, what we said, Paramount Plus or a CBS Sports app.
Yeah, but what time did that start? Immediately?
I would assume. I think it was 8:30. I can tell you, I still got it up. I still got that one up. Let's see. It says round 1 start time, 8:30 a.m. It looks like they have just certain times, certain holes that are being covered. Masters app, Masters. Oh yeah, mastersorg.org. Yep, there's Lee Elder, honorary starter. Gary Player, how old is Gary? Gary Player is still an incredible. Like Gary's like 80.
How old is Gary Player? I asked Siri and it popped up Rashawn Gary. How old is Gary Player? It still showed me Rashawn Gary. I don't know how old he is. How long have they been the ones that do that?
What?
The ceremonial tee shot?
I don't know. They probably feel like they've done it for a long time.
Like, when did that start? Has it always been a thing? When Jack was winning majors or winning Masters, was there somebody doing a ceremonial tee shot for him?
I don't think so.
So in like 20 years, is it going to be Phil and Tiger doing the ceremonial tee shot?
Gary Player is 85.
Goodness gracious.
Man, that is a healthy looking 85. Of course, he did like what, 1 million crunches a day.
I hope I look like that at 85. I hope I can walk at 85.
Yeah, oh, the Facebook stream, yeah. Golf Central, so is it? Yeah, live from the Masters. I guess I'll get some coverage. Used to be Hogan and Palmer. They were telling me about who was telling me. There was a buddy of mine, Charlie Smoke, was telling me about a book that a golf book that I need to read. I need to find something. I do need with summertime. I need to find another good book to read when I sit out on the back porch and kind of have the cigar and drink a little bit. I need a good book recommendation. I don't like thrillers or mysteries. I really like inspirational books, to be honest. But Sandy Lyle tees off at 8:12. You said we're back, and I just ignored it.
No, but I'm saying it now. We're back.
Ah, okay. Sandy Lyle looks like my grandfather warming up. And so does Ian Woosnam. Gravelly voice broke any rules by me singing it. They're off and running down in Augusta. We're into hour number 3 on a Thursday. Gamecock football is just little over 2 weeks away from their spring game. A lot going on here as we head into the 8 o'clock hour. Hope you're doing well. Bill Gunner, Patrick Perrette, we hold down the fort 1 more hour today, 3 hours tomorrow, and then we stop doing the heavy lifting. Tim and Jen return next week. Patrick, it has just occurred to me. This is why you produce. This is why Tim runs the show. This is why Jen handles all the other stuff. It has just occurred to me as I was speaking now. It is Thursday. There's a NASCAR race. We haven't talked about that. I think we need to check and see if we have Kerry Tharp later this.
Yeah, that also occurred to me about an hour ago, and I told myself, hey, remember to ask Bill if we're going to have Kerry Tharp on today. Because Jen also said that she might call in.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So we might have Kerry Tharp on. This is why, look, I love what I do. This is fun. It's not meant to be serious. Some of you get so angry at us sometimes for getting sidetracked and talking something other than sports. But this is also why I don't get to host the program very often. It's more because it's just a seat of the pants operation when I'm in charge, and we just kind of go with the flow. This morning, the flow has led us toward talking a lot about the Masters. And some of you, again, I get it. Golf is a niche sport. Some of you love it. Steven has hit us up on the stream, on the YouTube stream, the Facebook stream that you can join us on and watch us. And he said it's like Christmas morning for him. Gamecock Will was on the opposite end of the spectrum, although I did make him grizzled very early on by singing the Masters theme song and singing it. I actually sang or mumbled it, one of the two, but it opened the show. So understandable that Gamecock Will was in a poor mood to start the show, whereas Stephen was very happy when he tuned in and was talking about it being Christmas morning. If you want to weigh in on the Masters, if you've got your pick, we'll continue to take those, your pick and the score. Give us the score. Let's see if some of you out there are as smart as you think you are. Who do you got winning the Masters this morning, and what is the score? 803-404-6100, the Love Chevy phone line. You can call in and talk a little golf, or you can just text us. Again, you can always join us on the live stream. Go to youtube.com as the beautiful music plays in the background. Go to youtube.com.
Are you going to give a pick?
Search. Yes, I need to. We need to give our picks. We do need to give our picks. We need to. I'm very torn on this this week, but I've got an idea of who's going to win it. I'm not sure I'm thrilled about my pick and him winning it, but I've got a pick that will reveal.
Bryson.
Yeah, I am. Okay, never mind. No need to build suspense for that.
I mean, you pretty much gave it away by saying you're not thrilled about who you're going to pick. That was way too easy to guess.
Yeah, Bryson. I think DeChambeau's playing well. I think he's got confidence, and if he gets going today, I don't foresee him. He got tripped up last year early on, or Saturday, I think, or Friday or Saturday, I can't remember, but he's playing well, and I feel like he's going to overpower the course.
Can you overpower it when isn't that going to potentially cause him problems when they're talking about how fast everything is? And couldn't he very easily just shoot a double or triple on one of these holes and just knock himself way out? Because I also feel like if he has one really bad hole, he can mentally just unravel for him quickly.
He can, and some people are weighing in. Again, send in your pick and your score. We
might as well just do this right now because we do have Kerry at the end of the show, so we might as well just do the whole prediction thing right now.
All right, yeah, send them in.
I'm taking Morikawa.
You're taking Morikawa?
Because he is the best iron player on tour, right? So if everything's super fast, it's going to be more about just control and just the close game, the short game. He's also not afraid of the big moment. I don't even know if he's played in the Masters before, but I just like that kid. I think he's a stud. I'm picking Morikawa. It won't be Jordan Spieth because only 2 people have won, as I said, having won the week before the Masters, have gone on to win the Masters.
Let's get a couple of these predictions in. Anonymous texter says John Rahm, 12 under. Never count out a golfer who just had a baby. It's a good point. He's fired up. Rich weighs in. He's going Justin Thomas, 9 under. Thomas would be my second pick. I like Justin Thomas winning the Players. He's playing very good. I'm with him on that. That's a good pick. Let's see. Jumping back over to the live stream, we had a couple of you weighing in. Steven just he's going DJ, and he says he's down to 9. He picked DJ at 11 under yesterday. He's thinking more 9 under. Then he says he likes Xander Schauffele as well. That's good because I've got Xander Schauffele in one of the Masters pools that I'm in, so I can go with that. Todd weighs in. He says Bryson at 13 under. So we've got that as well. Hope says, I definitely don't want Bryson to win. Would love to see DJ go back to back. So we got a lot of people weighing in. If you've got a pick, it's underway. It's going down there, and everybody get fired up. And we can all go and get fired up as well. Hopefully you are working, and your boss maybe is allowing you to listen to us. We appreciate that this morning. 802.
I asked you since 2014, the last 6 Masters, yeah. Who has the lowest score to par?
Was
There's
it
2 guys within 1 shot of each other?
Was it Johnson last year? I forget. I don't know if anybody ever remembers score in relation to par for the winner.
Well, everyone's gonna remember that he was 20 in November.
Okay, so it's him, and then how many years did you go back?
He's second place since 2014.
How many years did you
Total
go?
score.
How many
6
years?
years.
Oh, the last 6?
Yeah.
Who's the other?
Jordan Spieth,
Okay.
43 minus 43, and then Dustin's right there at 42. Rory McIlroy.
You're talking about overall. I see.
Total,
yes.
running
Okay,
score.
all right. I thought you meant in one tournament. So Spieth over the last 2 years.
Dustin broke the record. Slaughtered it, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
A few other people weighing in with predictions this morning. Another anonymous texter. He's going Justin Thomas. 14 under. David in Somerville is following me. DeChambeau at 9 under. Hot Sauce Ross going Justin Thomas 11 under. And again, Pig, thank you for your text, says McIlroy or DJ. I'd love to see Roy McIlroy win it. I would. He comes.
That would be the biggest story for golf, I think. Right? Completing the career Grand Slam. Not many guys. How many people have done that, by the way?
The career Grand Slam.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up. 5.
I'll look it up.
Is it 5? I want to say it's Tiger, it's Arnie, it's Nicholas. I want to say it's those 3.
Okay. It's Nicholas, Woods, Hogan, Player. Gene Sarazen.
5. I was right. 5. I just had the wrong people.
So that would be huge. Becoming only the 6th person ever to do it.
But I'd love to see Rory win it. That would be really cool. I'm a fan of his. I think there's a lot of good stories. Look, I'm going to go with DeChambeau to win. I think it'll be a little bit lower. I think he's hit or miss around the greens, and that's where I think he will have a good week. I'll go 7 under. I think the course is going to play a little bit harder. It's going to play fast. Now, what you've got to watch for in this tournament also is starts and stops. I'm watching the Golf Channel here as we're doing the radio show, and they just flashed up the weather report. Saturday right now calling for an 80% chance of afternoon thunderstorms. And you got to, you take that into account, softening up the course, softening up the greens maybe a little bit, maybe some things not playing as fast, certainly could play into, I think, DeChambeau's favor. So we'll see. We'll continue to take your predictions. Craig says Justin Thomas 10 under. A lot of you, I feel like it's so. Patrick, you're following this with me. You see the text line and you see the live stream.
Yeah,
you'd say that right now the top picks, if I'm going off of what people are sending us, is DeChambeau, who I took, Justin Thomas, and Dustin Johnson.
Yeah,
you with me on that? Yep.
I'm with you.
Okay, so those appear to be the 3 people who are the favorites according to our listeners. Jim weighing in says he'd love to see DJ win, but he has a feeling it's going to be Justin Thomas. So yeah, those appear to be the 3 people that at least everybody listening this morning wants to win. So we'll continue to talk about that. Again, Kerry Tharp coming up at about 8:40. We'll get into a little NASCAR. We've also got some college football to discuss. South Carolina, Justin Stepp talking to the media yesterday. We talked about that with the wide receivers. Torian Gray talking as well. We'll play a little audio from him and talk about the defensive backs in the next segment. So a lot going on this morning. Certainly, if you want to weigh in, 803-404-6100 is how you can do that this morning. You can join us again. You can always join us on the live stream as well. You go to youtube.com, you click on or you search for 107.5 The Game. Our channel pops up, and you're able to go about searching us and following us, watching us, and engaging both on and off air in that manner. So we've got that going. Well, last hour we were talking about Justin Stepp. Patrick, let's do we have a little bit more audio of Justin Stepp? We can play. I think you got one other cut. Let's play that and just wrap up some Justin Stepp and wide receiver conversation here. Gamecock wide receiver coach Justin Stepp talking yesterday.
The first thing I can tell you is that I don't think I've ever been around as smart of football coach as Marcus Satterfield. I mean, he's like a mad scientist. He's got a good way about him with the kids. He brings the energy every day. I mean, we walk in this morning and you can hear his music playing out of his office before you ever got up the stairs. So he's a high energy guy, very, very sharp. He sees things that, and as we watch film together, he sees things that you're like, golly, I'd have never caught that. So I'm excited to work with him. I love our offensive staff. I love our offense. If you're a receiver, I mean, it's a lot of the same things that, LSU was doing with Joe Brady there, with the bunch sets, the close sets, the choice routes and stuff like that. It's a fun offense to play in, man. It's an NFL ready offense.
I don't know what to expect from this offense. And I've heard the term pro-style offense thrown around. Patrick, the pro-style offense is a throwback to what, the 90s, the early 2000s? The pro-style offense of today is not the pro-style offense. Pro is referring to an NFL offense. Two backs, maybe the kind of almost the Bill Walsh kind of mindset, maybe the split formation. I think you can do a lot of different things. And it sounds to me when you hear Justin Stepp talk about what Marcus Satterfield's doing. And look, there is nothing more interesting to me for Southwest football in 2021 than what the offense is going to look like. Because Marcus Satterfield does have a resume to go by. He has been an offensive coordinator, and he has had some prolific numbers at lower levels offensively. I feel like this could either be a genius hire by Shane Beamer that is just incredible and changes what his, almost like he goes the complete 180 of Will Muschamp, right? Like he knocks it out of the park, or it's a dud of a hire.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I do expect to see, Stepp mentioned it, talking about the Joe Brady influence, which is also the Sean Payton influence. And of course, Satterfield was on staff with Brady last year, was the bunch sets. And that has always been a staple of the Sean Payton coaching tree's offense. You saw it a ton at LSU with Terrace Marshall, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase all bunched together. And the other thing is the best position to play in that offense is slot receiver. So whoever the number one slot is for South Carolina, that is probably going to be the number one target, because that's how it was at LSU. And Justin Jefferson got dinged for it a little bit in the draft process because teams always look at, can you win on the outside? That's the most important thing. That's the most translatable skill, is winning on the outside. But they were really surprised to learn that, what LSU was doing and Joe Brady was doing was putting their best receivers in the slot, because that's where he felt he had the best opportunity to scheme targets to. So if you see maybe like Xavier Legette is starting in the slot, you could see him catch a ton of balls there and make a ton of plays from that position.
You're right. You watched LSU a lot with their group. Now look, we're that wide receiver group: Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall, Justin Jefferson,
potentially all 3 first-round picks.
We're not trying to compare South Carolina's wide receivers to that. There's, at least as we sit here on April 8th, there's not a first-round pick.
But there's no reason that Nick Muse can't be Thaddeus Moss either. Like, Nick Muse has all the talent that Thad Moss has.
Well, let's go back, and we talked a lot about the wide receivers because it's Justin Stepp who's talking. Eric Kimry, I think, is set to talk next week. But when we say this, you're right. We're focusing solely on the wide receivers, but the tight ends in this offense, or the tight ends for South Carolina's offense, are going to maybe have to lead the way, because that's where the experience is. Nick Muse is a guy, obviously, that's been around now. It'll be his 3rd year. I think he got unfairly. He got a bad rap last year, coming back off of the ACL tear 2 years ago. I don't think he was ever healthy early on. He had some drops that were pretty tough. I think he'll have a good year if he stays healthy. EJ Jenkins is a guy that it's just interesting. I'm not gonna let's not do the Jalen Brooks thing and oversell EJ Jenkins, but certainly a guy who's 6'6", what is he, 240? I saw a picture of him.
6'8".
Yeah, the numbers get inflated a little bit there on that.
I don't know. Everyone's saying, I know what you're thinking. 6'8's got to be inflated, but he is a legit 6'8.
Well,
he looks like it.
He does. I've seen some pictures of him standing next to Eric Shaw, who's a big kid himself, and he makes Eric Shaw look small. So, let's not oversell EJ Jenkins, but certainly it's interesting. It's certainly an interesting piece to the puzzle when you talk about what Marcus Satterfield and Luke Doty, we assume it's going to be Luke Doty, get to work with here this coming season. So, again, a lot of pieces there, but when you talk about wide receivers in particular, it's a situation for South Carolina where they've got to get somebody to step up. They've got to get somebody who can make plays with the ball in their hands, whether it's Dakereon Joyner or Marion Brown. Maybe it's Josh Vann. Maybe it's Ortre Smith. Again, there's a lot of names. Rico Powers, Jakari Caldwell, Xavier Leggett. There's so many names that you can throw out there. We'll see who kind of stands out and develops for the Gamecocks at wide receiver, but something to kind of continue. We'll talk about the defensive backs as well. Torian Gray speaking yesterday. We'll hear a little bit from him when we return. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
All right, AAA.
Corley.
One of the two. Yeah.
It's going to be warm this weekend. Actually, it was pretty warm yesterday, and it's going to be a pretty nice weekend, actually. Maybe so nice you want to hop in the pool. You want to lounge around with the family, cool off a little bit. You want to enjoy a nice weekend watching, say, a golf tournament, maybe a little Gamecock baseball. You want to enjoy your pool and enjoy the weekend. But you know what? Pollen's been quite annoying lately, and you need it cleaned. You need to give Corley Pool Solutions a phone call right now. Right now, stop what you're doing. Get your pool cleaned. Call Tracy Corley and his team, 803-445-8109. You want an expert. You want somebody who's been around doing this for multiple years. How about someone who's done it for 20 years? That's exactly what Tracy and his team have done. And how about this? Tracy told me this. I verified this. It's cheaper to use Tracy and his team than it is for you to actually maintain the pool on your own. Going to the pool store, purchasing the supplies, the chemicals, everything you need. It's actually cheaper to use Corley Pool Solutions. Find out for yourself. Give them a phone call, 803-445-8109. They offer pool maintenance at a flat monthly rate. They'll come over. They'll make sure they'll take care of you. Here's the great thing about Tracy and his team. They're a phone call away. You got an issue, Tracy's there. He handles it personally. That's the kind of service you need. So if you've got an issue with your pool or you want your pool maintained, give Corley Pool Solutions a call. 803-445-8109. That's Corley Pool Solutions.
Quick. And from Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center, Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
I agree, Chad. It's of course, I will say this. We say that, or maybe you just mean other like new coaches, because Muschamp did this during the spring. Every coach talked once. It was the only time we ever heard from him. And I think that's going to be different during the season, as we'll like hearing from the assistant coaches after practice. But I mean, what's happening right now isn't completely different than what Muschamp did during his time in terms of letting the assistant coach talk once during the spring. But how things are different during the season, I think that's where everybody will really like it, because when something goes wrong or something's, we've got questions, I think that's where we'll get to hear from players and find out what actually is happening as opposed to just the head coach. Jordan Spieth, Danny, I agree. Jordan Spieth is playing well. It'll be interesting to see how he handles it. Patrick's pointed out multiple times. Though, what'd you say, Patrick? 2 times? It's only 2 times that somebody's won the tournament prior?
Yep. Sandy Lyle and Phil Mickelson, only 2 to ever win after winning the week before.
Okay, there you go. How about that? Oh,
Bill, you got to do some research on the NASCAR race this week.
did you text Jen? Is that how you know that?
I'm texting Kerry right now to see if he's good.
Hey, apparently we're at Martinsville this week.
If Kerry gives me confirms that he's good to go, then I will text Jen and see if she is going to call in.
Okay, I like that. Worst case, Patrick, we can move Kerry to tomorrow and put him like in the last segment of the 7 o'clock hour. That wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Martinsville, 7:30 Saturday night on Fox Sports 1. It's good. It means I have to actually do some work here and pay attention. Yeah, Mike Wyman. It's a good point. That's a good point, Craig. Somebody asked about that. I got to try to remember to bring that up here. Patrick, we'll do a little Masters quick discussion, play a little Torian Gray. We'll see if you just want to give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, if Kerry is coming on, then get us out by 8:40.
Huh?
If I give you a thumbs up, or I'll text you that Kerry is coming on, if he is, we'll get out by 8:40
Okay.
at the latest.
All right. Hello, Alan. Good morning.
I was thinking about just calling him at 8:40, but sometimes.
Well, here's the one thing. Jen did not text us. You know how she normally sends a text message with the sheet? She didn't do that. And literally, as I was kind of talking about our hour, it dawned on me that, there's a NASCAR race and that we probably should do that.
Yeah, she did not text us the standings. I was seeing if she did it like early.
Huh?
Thursday, April 1st. That was for last week, I assume. There was a race last weekend, I'm guessing.
No, there was no race last week.
So the standings should be the same, right?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
If you look, she texted the group with all of us on April 1st. Not sure if Kerry's a texter or not, but
Yeah, April 1st. Okay. I'm in the lead ahead of Reggie, Kerry, and then Jen Stinks. Got it. Yeah, no one mentions Mike Wyman. Got to mention him.
it's one of 17.
This was the cigar I was going to smoke last night. I ended up backing off of that idea. I don't know what that is. All right. We'll see if we'll try and get to Torian Gray here, even if it's just quick. Just how long is that clip?
A minute, 15.
Okay. We may just play it and not discuss it that much. Just play it to play it. But I've got something I'm going to come back with. A couple things.
I mean, if we don't do Kerry, I can just play it coming back into our next segment. Not this one, but the next one.
Yeah, well, everything changes completely if we don't have Kerry.
Yeah, we can save it. We can save the Gray, too, if we don't get to it.
Yeah.
But we are about to come back in.
Okay. Do you think, Patrick, hello, friends, is currently the most iconic, like sign on, sign off? I don't know how you would define this, but like sports phrase out there right now? Is there anything that even matches it?
For one particular announcer.
Yeah, like I mean, you had Michael Buffer with "Let's Get Ready to Rumble," and that was huge, and that was and it doesn't. "Let's Get Ready to Rumble" doesn't have the same.
I don't think Joe Buck has any particular calls for the World Series or Monday Night Football. I can't think of anything, or I can't think of anything for Sunday Night Football for Collinsworth other than the Collinsworth slide in.
I think York weighs in on the live stream, and he's got the other one. Now this one's because I don't even know where Brent Musburger is anymore. But Brent, you're looking live. Yeah, I mean that's true. That's another one. But I think Hello Friends for Jim Nantz to open the Masters is the preeminent thing to say, right? Like everybody knows that. That's now the saying, correct?
Yeah, I mean that's synonymous with Jim Nantz with the Masters. I'd like to think that there's something else, but it's not popping into my head at all.
Anthony weighs in on the live stream. Welcome to WrestleMania. Who says that? Who's the announcer? Is Jim Ross still announcing?
I've never watched WrestleMania, so I don't know.
I haven't either. I gotta admit, I haven't either. Yeah, I was thinking about it in terms of sporting events to take days off for, not weekend events, right? Not night events, but to take days off for. College basketball, NCAA tournament, first Thursday, Friday is number one on that list, right? That's a day off. You take that day. You call into the office. You're out sick. You save up your days for that. Is Masters number 2, or is it opening day in Major League Baseball?
I would never think about taking Masters off because
I think, and see, this is
the most important rounds are on Saturday and Sunday. I would never consider taking a day off of work for a golf tournament.
Would you take a day off? Yes or no? 803-40.
It's the NCAA tournament.
That's number one. It's
number one by a long time. And everything else. And opening day is number 2.
Is it?
Yeah.
803-404-6100. Would you take a day off, or would you rather take a day off to watch opening day Major League Baseball, which I can understand. That is a huge day. And I think it depends on what market you live in. Or would you rather take a day off?
I mean, you've said it's not even on TV until what, 3 o'clock? Right?
Right. Yeah. That's another big part.
If you're already going to be at work, just pull out your laptop and watch it on your laptop at work.
Right.
It could be this seems like a good day to just go airplane mode for the work day and watch Masters on your computer. But taking off for Thursday, is that what you would do with Thursday, or just cut out on Friday and make it an early weekend?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. 803.
I've never heard of someone saying, "Oh, I'm going to take Thursday off for the Masters, but then I got to go back into work on Friday too."
Yeah, 803-404-6100 is how you can join us. You can send in the Cool Care Heating and Air text line. Would you rather take off a weekday, Thursday, Friday for Masters, or would you rather take off opening day for Major League Baseball? You're a Braves fan, you're a Red Sox fan, you're a Dodgers fan, whatever. Again, part of that is opening day for Major League, for your Nationals were scheduled to open at night against the Mets. So there'd be really no need to take the day off. Again, different things, and that's why we discussed this. By the way, Hudson Swafford of Lakeland, Florida, went to school at Georgia. We've already debated is the most southern name we've heard. Has birdied number 2. I believe that's right. Yeah, 1 under. He's in the lead. I believe. So you've got that going for you. Let's get a few text messages right here. We were asking for your picks earlier. Tony weighed in. And I don't think this is Tony Finau, but Tony weighed in, and his pick is Tony Finau. Ray weighed in with Daniel Berger. I like going a little outside of the box there. He said Daniel Berger 9 under. And Bobby weighed in. Give me my homeboy from across the river, Kevin Kisner, at 8 under. That was a couple picks there. And then also a couple other sayings to rival Jim Nantz's hello friends. Let's see here. Adam weighs in. He says, Daryl Waltrip's boogity, boogity, boogity. Boys, let's go racing. That is actually, even I'm familiar with that one. Jordan has Dick Vitale saying diaper dandy baby. Do I not hear him say that as much now, Patrick? Do we catch? Am I just if it's got to the point now where I'm just blocking out whatever
I
Dick
barely saw Dick Vitale last year.
I think
Honestly, the only thing I saw Dick Vitale do was drink a bunch of Pepto-Bismol during the Super Bowl.
that what it was. I saw it. Well, I've seen the
That's the last time I've seen him.
I've seen insurance commercials for him now, but I think that's about it. I think Dick Vitale's reached a point now where we just block him out. We don't know it. You don't even know if he's announcing anymore.
Yeah, we're pretty much done with him. Same with Bill Walton, other than the Pac-12 dominating the NCAA tournament. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't care about Bill Walton anymore either. Their sticks are over.
Patrick, I think you might like this one. Anonymous texter weighs in. He says Chris Collinsworth and his phrases. So here's a guy.
Yeah, I mean, he always says that. But that's not like – I'm thinking Hello Friends opens up the Masters and you
Right.
like that there's not – I'm imagining if somebody has – as the NFL is getting kicked off, like as they're running for the kickoff, does anybody have a specific saying for that? And I don't think they do.
Yeah, that's good question. I think Brent Musburger right now, you're looking live as you open up because you'll hear Nance, hello friends, that'll open up the telecast, I guess, on Saturday. I don't know if Nance does anything today or tomorrow since it's on ESPN, but yeah, you've got that going. A couple other things. If you're choosing a day off, Neil weighs in. He says, if I had to choose between the two, I'd choose baseball. But I would rather save my vacation days for the day after the college football national championship game and a day after the Super Bowl.
The day after is more important now because we have – I mean, the national championship for football is a 5-hour game that starts at, 8:30? Like, that thing never ends. That is a good one. The Super Bowl is obviously a good one. And obviously the national championship in basketball starting at 9:20, ridiculous. Yeah. So the days they're pushing everything back. Everything's starting later now.
Anonymous texter weighs in. You have to take off work for World Cup soccer because it's only once every 4 years.
Yeah, and the Olympics, of course, for sure. But those are not. Yeah, those are every 2 years you're gonna have one of those.
Yeah, it's and
either
then
the Olympics or World Cup.
And then getting back into the expressions, the cocky codger says, Bob Fulton's, it's time for total excitement. I don't. Did he say that? That's old. I know.
Way before my time.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, we're gonna need more of that. I knew Bob. Bob was. My family was very close to Bob, and I loved listening to Bob. Just not sure that that was there. I don't know. So we'll go 803-404-6100. How you can join us this morning. Torian Gray speaking yesterday to the media. Here's a little bit of what he had to say regarding his defensive backs.
We got to get a break after this.
We need to have a certain swagger, which we don't have just because we're so green, to have a swagger as a group right now. So we're still learning how to be. A lot of guys are learning how to play football on this level, what it takes in meeting rooms, what it takes in an individual period, what it takes doing a specific technique. We're still got a lot to gain from those deals. So if we can finish spring ball and have a toughness about ourselves, have a swagger about ourselves, I say we accomplished something.
Torian Gray yesterday speaking to the media about his defensive back, certainly a position that we can talk about wide receivers. There's a lot of bodies there. We can talk about them needing to step up. We can talk about the offensive line and trying to develop and become better at pass blocking, the defensive line trying to live up to the recruiting rankings that defensive line, linebackers, but it's secondary that I think is the position you are most concerned about going into the 2021 season. We'll talk more about that maybe tomorrow and get into a little bit of the defensive backfield, play that audio again. Right now, we got to get ready. Kerry Tharp is up next. It's time for a NASCAR Pick'em segment in which yours truly continues to lead the way, followed by Reggie Anderson, Kerry Tharp in third, and Jen Jensen way behind, just not even close, and dead last. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Triple A.
Yeah, you heard me talking about it in the last break. Temperatures are definitely on the rise, which means one question for you. Is your air conditioner working properly? Because if that sucker goes out in June or July, you think your wife, you think your significant other, you think the kids are going to be happy with you? No, not even the family pet's going to be happy with you. You better make sure your air conditioner is working properly. And there is a great family-run company to do that. Roy and Dana with AAA Heating and Air will make sure that the family, including the pet, do not get angry with you this summer. Get them out to your house right now and let them do an inspection. If something's wrong, AAA Heating and Air will actually pay you $1,500 to take away your old unit. Think about that. They're going to take care of you. Then they're going to offer 0% financing and no money down on a new unit. Give AAA Heating and Air a call today, 803-677-1500. Trust me, there's nothing worse than having an angry dog or cat at you because your air conditioner went out in the middle of the summer. Don't allow that to happen. Get it checked on now. Maybe they discover something. Maybe it's perfectly fine. But let me tell you, don't run the risk of a Columbia summer catching you in a bad spot with your air conditioning being out. Roy and Dana, family-run company. I trust them. They've taken care of me. They'll do the same for you. 803-677-1500. Give AAA Heating and Air a call today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Geico, for your boat. See how you could save.
All right.
What? DC is a big fan of his mother-in-law, huh? All right.
No, he's just not a fan of golf
Or baseball? He said neither.
or baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill, I know that. I knew Buffer trademarked "Let's get ready to rumble" so it couldn't be used anywhere. Crazy. Made a lot of money off of that phrase. Kentucky Codgers thing. All right, so let's see. Do we have anything from Jen? Is Jen joining us, or
I'm gonna call Kerry.
is this just me leading the NASCAR segment? Which is,
That's what it is.
Okay, excellent.
Ask him about the Masters. Ask him about USC stuff if you need to. He knows.
Yeah. It's great. It's good. Let's see here. Let's make sure we're in Martinsville. Yep. Martinsville Speedway, Saturday, 7:30. Patrick's on the phone with Kerry Tharp, and we'll be ready to rock and roll here. Ready to rock and roll. Too much work. Too much work here. Just, What we got?
We're coming back. Got Kerry.
I got a line of questioning that we'll give him. We'll
He's
tie
ready.
it all in and wrap it up peacefully. Yep, Mike, we said that. Yeah, I can never go wrong with Hamlin. Let's see here.
We're coming back right now.
We're back. We're back. Oh, it's a Masters tradition. Sandy Lyle has made a birdie within the first 2 holes. He's tied for the lead. Everybody get fired up. It's going to be Sandy Lyle's year. I can already tell. Get fired up for that. Masters is underway down in Augusta. We're blessed. We really are in Columbia. We've talked about this between the Masters being an hour away. You got the RBC Heritage. Obviously, we've got other great sports, but then you also have Darlington, which for us, again, about hour and a half away, depending on the speed of which you drive. Joining us now is Kerry Tharp. And Kerry, I mean, Kerry, where are you originally from? Where did you grow up?
Where did I grow up? All right, I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky, the home of the Kentucky Derby. Born and raised, and lived in Kentucky. Went to college at Western Kentucky, and then kind of moved out after that. Went to grad school at Tennessee, and then got involved in college sports and worked 4 years at Oklahoma. Came to South Carolina for 20, and then been at NASCAR ever since.
Well, there you go. There you go. So, yeah, I was going to ask you that because we are very lucky. We're very lucky around here to have so many great events. You obviously, being the president of Darlington Raceway, you put on an event that, again, it's niche. It's much like golf. It's not everybody gets into it, but it is a unique event. It's a unique event in NASCAR. It's unlike any other event in NASCAR. What is it like putting on an event? I mean, we've talked about it a couple times, but the work that you have to do, not just the day of the race, but the other 364 days. Like we're sitting here April 8th. What does your day entail right now preparing for the race?
Well, I tell you, it's exhilarating, to be honest with you. It keeps you busy. It keeps you with spring in your step. There's always something going on now, particularly if we have 2 NASCAR events. You know, we're about 30 days away from our first one, Mother's Day weekend, our throwback weekend, and then we fast forward a few months and we hit Labor Day. So, you know, there's really always something going on. I mean, we had a test here in the last 2 days with one of the drivers from Richard Childress Racing. He was testing the new car, what they call the next gen car. We've got a rookie test here next week. But there's a lot of things that we're doing and a lot of things that we've been doing really since November, December to get ready for this May event. A lot of marketing, a lot of, ticket, communications with our fans, still dealing with this pandemic. So there's a lot of things that we still have to keep in place from a COVID-19 protocol standpoint. You know, we've got almost 400 acres here, so it's a property that you have to keep up year round. A lot of walls to paint, a lot of still some signage to put up for sure. Getting everything clean. It's a big job. Visiting with media folks like yourself pretty much every day of the week. It's a lot of fun though, and to be able to do it in a state that I love, which is South Carolina, and a community that I love, which is the Darlington area, I can't ask for anything better.
You did mention that May 9th, Mother's Day weekend, will be the first of the 2 races down in Darlington. What is it, September 5th, right? Is it the 5th?
Right.
My days.
September 4th and 5th will be the 2 races in September, yes.
Okay, yeah, my days in September. I know it's Labor Day weekend, but I couldn't remember what Saturday was Sunday. But yeah, so May 9th, not far away for you. Yeah, where do you stand with that? You mentioned it's throwback weekend that weekend and all the things you've got to do. I don't know if you've put anything out. Where do you stand with attendance and people that will be allowed in? How is that coming along for you?
Well, it's coming along quite well. You know, there's still certain some parameters that we have to follow, mainly from NASCAR. from a social distancing standpoint, we'll probably be able to accommodate somewhere in the neighborhood of 11 to 12,000 fans for our Mother's Day race. And we've sold a lot of those tickets already, so I encourage fans that want to come out to that race on Sunday, May 9th. You better get your tickets here probably in the next week because they may be gone. But we also have the Xfinity race on Saturday at 1 o'clock, and that's where Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to pace the field in his dad's restored number 8 Chevy Nova, which will be very, very cool. And then on Friday night, we have the Camping World Truck Series race, which is just a perfect race to come to. Bring your kids. It's less than 2 hours. The race is, and so it's a good opportunity for those maybe that have never been to a race to try out the truck race on Friday night. So, we got a triple hitter. We've got a lot of things lined up. It's Mother's Day. We're going to do some special things for our mothers on Sunday. And, like I said, all systems are go, but that clock's ticking. So every day, needs to matter for us right now.
Obviously, the Masters underway now down in Augusta. You guys, like you said, about 4 weeks away from this weekend. Are you a golfer? Are you a guy that hits the links occasionally, gets out there?
Well, I do like to play. I'm not very good, but boy, when I was at South Carolina, I had the opportunity to go to Augusta probably about 6 or 7 times to go to the Masters. One of my student assistants back then, John Bush, made the mistake one day of asking me if I wanted a couple of badges to go to the Masters, and that lasted about 6 or 7 years in a row that I was able to go at least one day. Usually Thursday or Friday is when we went, and then lo and behold, John went up and got married on me. So those passes kind of disappeared, but he's now one of the top media officials for the PGA Tour. But I love the Masters. That's probably the most beautiful piece of real estate in the country, and to go over there and experience that is like they say, it's a tradition like none other.
This weekend, NASCAR heads to Martinsville Saturday night, 7:30 on FS1. And Kerry, you're in third place. Now you're only 2 points behind me. I've got 20 points. Reggie Anderson this year is really paying attention and keeping track. He's at 19. You're at 18. Jen's awful. Jen's at 13. I don't know what's going on with her. She has not sent us a pic. So I did. On vacation, I did get an angry text message saying that I can't just take the first pick since I'm hosting the show, that I have to allow the guests to make the first pick. So who do you have in Martinsville this coming weekend?
Well, it's kind of a wide open deal over there. It's a short track. It's under the lights. I'm going to go with a guy he's a native Virginian. He hasn't won yet this year, but I think he's due, and that's Denny Hamlin to win over at Martinsville Saturday night.
It's actually, everybody knows that's kind of my go-to pick. Todd has already hit us up on the live stream.
That's why I went to that pick.
It's very smart. Look, you can't ever go wrong with Denny Hamlin. There's no doubt that Denny Hamlin jump-started this entire run that I've been on 2 years ago at Daytona. So if you're going to take Hamlin, I've got to go to a backup pick. I'm gonna go with Chase Elliott. I'm gonna take Chase Elliott. I think he's the third in the favorites there. I think Elliott's been running good. I think this is a good week for him. We'll find out who Jen and Reggie are gonna take. She's gonna actually have to do some work and stop her vacation. We'll get them all back next week, buddy. We appreciate you joining us.
Sounds good.
Thanks
a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
President of Darlington, who joins us each and every Thursday, Kerry Tharp. Always fun to talk to him. Patrick, they're underway down in Augusta.
Yeah.
Big day.
Lock in your pick and score. You got Bryson at what score?
Bryson, I'm going to go 8 under. Bryson at 8 under.
Morikawa 11.
Morikawa 11. All right, we'll stick with that. We'll cut up and have a good time tomorrow. Join us on the live stream if you like. You can always go to youtube.com. Search for 107.5 The Game, click that subscribe button, and come join us on the live stream. It's a lot of fun. We cut up on and off air. If you want to join us, you can do it that way. Thanks to everybody. Hope you have a great Masters Thursday. Patrick and I are taking a 21-hour break. We'll talk to you at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Clear.
All right. I don't think we can do it any better.
All righty.
And Jim's giving you some love. He says he loves when you produce. He hears the call. We get to actually hear the callers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's because I'm invested in the live stream.
He is invested. Sonny, Hope, DC, thank you all for joining. Everybody, Jim, Todd, appreciate everybody. Hope everybody has a great day. We'll do it again tomorrow.
We will see you tomorrow.